All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they will testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. If I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, the Moses in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's get this Hosea 2 and 14, man. Hosea 2 and 14. And therefore, behold, I will allure her, and I will bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her vineyards from thence in the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there as in the days of her youth, and as in the days when she came up out of the land of Mizraim. And it shall be at that day, saith Yahuwah, that you shall call me Ishi, and you shall no more call me Baalim. For I will take the names of Baalim out of her mouth, and they shall be no more remembered by their name. And in that day will I make a covenant with them, with the beasts of the field, with the fowls of Shamayim, and with the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely. And I will betroth you unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth you unto me in righteousness, and in judgment, and in loving kindness, and in mercies. And I will even betroth you unto me in faithfulness, and you shall know Yahuwah. Shalom. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will hear, saith Yahuwah, I will hear Shamahim, and they shall hear the earth, and the earth shall hear, and the corn, and the wine, and the oil, and they shall hear Jezreel, and I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that have not obtained mercy, and I will say to them, not my people, you my people, and they shall say, my Elohim. So, I think we were talking about the aspects of speaking to the heart. Let's take a trip back to Jeremiah chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 1. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 1.
My son, forget not my law, but let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and shalom shall they add to you. Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them about your neck. Write them upon the table of your heart.
Right of where?
On the table of your heart.
Nah, we're going to just do what we did in Proverbs in the past and keep on looking at that continually. Let's go to that Proverbs 7 and 1. Because before we get into all of that, we have to deal with the aspect of laying it up in your inward man. Go ahead.
My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with
Hush. Hush. Be quiet. You're being rude.
Keep my commandments and live, and my law is the apple of your eye.
Do what?
Keep my commandments and live, and my law is the apple of your eye.
And bind them where?
Upon your fingers.
And where?
Write them upon the table of your heart.
Right of where?
Upon the table of your heart.
Where?
Upon the table of your heart.
Come over here to 6 and 20. Same book. Shalom, Brother Robert. Proverbs 6 and 20.
My son, keep your father's commandment and forsake not the law of your mother.
Where you need to bind them at?
Bind them continually upon your heart and tie them about your neck.
Time where?
About your neck.
And when you go,
it shall lead you.
When you what?
Sleep, it shall keep you.
When you sleep, it'll what?
Keep you.
And when you awake, it'll what?
Shall talk with
what you think that means? You got some information right there. We just heard two men just completely destroy the resurrection of the dead. Lord have mercy. He said, when you sleep, what did it do?
It shall keep you.
Revelation 14 and 13. Go ahead.
And I heard a voice from Shamayim saying unto me, Write, Baruch, the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth.
Baruch the who?
The dead.
The died who?
In the Lord from henceforth.
Why?
Yea, saith the Ruach, that they may rest from their labor.
And their work do what?
Follow them.
Their work do what?
Follow them.
See, if you had this man's word laid up in your heart, then guess what? It's going to guard you. It's going to shamar. It's going to keep you even when you sleep. Go back to Proverbs 6:20 and tell them what sleep means now. Shalom, Sister Virginia.
That's shakab, to lie down, whether for rest, sexual connection, decease, or any other purpose.
Death. Continue.
I'm going to go back to Revelation.
Nope. Proverbs 6:20. Read it again.
My son, keep your father's commandment. Forsake not the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart and tie them about your neck. When you go, it shall lead you. When you sleep, it shall keep you. And when you awake, it shall talk with you.
When you awake, it'll do what?
Talk with you.
Now, what you think this means? When you awake, it will talk with you. But first and foremost, let's hit John 11:25 on general principle. See, smoothly in that passage, it's referencing the resurrection of the dead. But most importantly, referring back to what we were discussing with the new covenant in Jeremiah, that if, Shalom, Brother Marcus, that if the word is written in your heart, then it will guard you when you dead. And if it'll guard you when you dead, that's how the second death have no power. Which goes back to what we read in Revelation 2 when he says, to him that overcome, I will give him power to not be hurt of the second death. Because you laid them words up in your inward man, it will keep you. It will guard you. It will protect you. It'll protect you from the one thing that you can't defeat. Read it for him. What it is, Ecclesiastes 8? Let me look and see. See what verse it is. I think it's 5. Might not be though. Nah, that ain't. Well, yeah, you can read that too. Ecclesiastes 8:5. That ain't what I wanted, but it is fine for now.
Whoso keep the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discern both time and judgment.
Now listen, tell him what commandment is there, and then you keep reading down after that.
That's mitzvah, command.
So keep his instructions. Now read verse 6.
Because to every purpose there's time and judgment. Therefore the misery of man is great upon him.
For he know not
that what shall be, for who can tell him what it shall be?
There is no man
that have power over the Ruach to retain the Ruach.
Neither have the power
in the day of death, and no discharge in that war.
There's no what?
Discharge in that war.
Neither shall
wickedness deliver those that are given to it.
Now tell them what discharge is, man.
Mishlakath, a mission, a release, an army, discharge.
A release. Can't nobody release themselves from death. But he just told you if you take his words and lay them up in your heart, that they'll guard you when you're dead. Which is the same thing that Revelation told you. So come back and look at this last part. Read John 11:25. Because he said when you awake, they'll talk with you. Now we could go to Isaiah 30 about when you walk, they'll lead you. Because that's easy. Matter of fact, let's do that one now because that's easy. Come to Psalms 37 first. Hey, be quiet. Little boy, you're going to make me drop kick you. You got about another year and some change, boy. And you got a real live regiment coming your way. Just another year and some change. That's all it needs. And boy, I'm going to put in the work. Let me see if the verse I'm on. There it is. 37 and 23. Psalms 37 and 23.
The steps of a man are ordered by Yahuwah, and he delighted in his way.
Tell him what ordered means, man.
That's cool.
This is to establish. The man is going to establish your steps. Now, come on back. No, keep on reading to the verse under that, verse 24.
Say, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for Yahuwah uphold with his hand.
Now tell them what fall means, because they're going to make you think that's talking about sinning.
That's the fall.
And that's the same. Well, tell them what it means, just in case nobody don't know what the fall means.
That's to be accepted, to be cast down, to cease, to die.
To die. This is the same word that's used for fall in Proverbs 24 and 16, by the way. The just man falleth 7 times. Same word. Go ahead. The definition. Innocent or not. There's a few more.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of them to die a violent death.
We got to die, to divide, to let fail, to cause, to let, to make ready, to fall down. Inferior, to be judged. Got to overthrow, overwhelm, to perish.
It simply means to die or to be overthrown. So when you see that fall in that Psalms 37 and 24 and that Proverbs 24 and 16, well, that's not talking about no sinning, man. That man talking about he'll uphold you by his right hand, even if you were to die, even if someone was to cast you down with the attempts of trying to kill you. You know what an example of that is? Joseph. They tried to kill the man. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you have to pay attention to that, man. It's oxymoronic to say you righteous, but you sinning at the same time. I don't even know how we accept that type of conversation. John 11 and 25. A lot of stuff is counterproductive, and it should be counterintuitive, to be 100% honest with you, to the intuition you have in your brain. You should hear that and say, that don't make sense. So there's only two reasons why you would hear that and not say that don't make sense. Maybe three. One is because you're stupid. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't think most people are stupid. I think most people are ignorant and missing or uninformed, to be 100% honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Which is the second thing. And the third one is Yahuwah gave you a mind to believe that because he wanted to destroy you. And that's it. But in my personal opinion, I think most people fall in the middle one, which is just being grossly misinformed, uninformed, and ignorant. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. Because people see fall and they automatically equate that to sinning because that's what people told you. You know what I'm saying? You never looked and say, let me see what this word means in the original language it was written in. You know why you didn't think like that? Why would you? Because unless somebody introduced that type of thought process to you, that's not something that most people are going to naturally gravitate to. So you have, and I'm saying this here, wherever you go in life, whoever you come across, whoever you have a conversation with, you can't assume because you found out some information or you were made privy to some information that person was made privy to it also. Because the same way you walked around and you had no idea that this meant that and that was referring to this and this was referring to that, that's the same with most people either. You can never forget that you was dumb, deaf, and blind your doggone self. Now, there's a difference when you're dealing with people who say they teachers of the word. We don't spare them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not supposed to. The reason being is that person is supposed to know. You know what I'm saying? And you call yourself a light to the blind and bringing life to the deaf, hearing to the deaf. You know what I'm talking about? Life to the dead, and you don't know certain things. You're supposed to get upgraded to the highest level because you a buster. You know what I'm saying? That's if you walk around like you that nigga and you not. You know what I'm saying? Most people, I just told my dog this the other day, he seen it live and in color. Son, I done told y'all all the time. Most people who argue and go back and forth with the word don't even know the word like that for real. You know what I'm saying? You take them in certain places or you mention certain things that they not familiar with, they get stuck. And that's embarrassing. Like somebody asked me, you read the whole Bible? I'm like, nigga, what? And I had to tell this and I say, man, you know, this not to toot no horn. This is just the reality of the situation. I'm not you niggas. I have to actually work. And I work over 50% of the calendar year. You know what I'm talking about? There's absolutely no way that you could be able to do that and you don't know the word. That's impossible. You know why that's impossible? Because you'll be like these niggas that you see on the internet talking about the same thing all day, every day. See, that's one thing if you arguing with people, that don't benefit nobody when you got to serve somebody. You know what I'm talking about? You can't keep serving that bulwark of work, man. Unless you like bad dough. Most people like bad dough. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it is. John 11:25.
Yahweh said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life.
That's right.
He that believe in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Mm-hmm. And whosoever live and believe in me shall never die. Believe you this?
Now, He said he the resurrection and the what?
And the life.
He the resurrection and the what?
And the life.
Come over here to Isaiah 30. Think 30 what I want. Well, let's look and see. That's why I can't find it. Because my joint go from 30 to 35.
One
of them children got hold to it. Which one? God knows. Jeremiah 30 and 20 is what I desire. I said Jeremiah, I'm sorry. Isaiah 30 and 20. But you can make it 12. Shalom, man. Isaiah 30 and 12. Yes, Cooper. Come on with it, man.
So wherefore thus saith the Kadash one of Yasharal.
What did he say?
Because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness.
Oh, they trusted what?
And perversion. Well, in oppression and perverseness.
Well, tell them what oppression is, man. So ain't no mistake.
That's oshek, unjust gain, cruelty, extortion, oppression.
So that means these are people who are unjustly extracting resources out of the people, either through extortion or some other nefarious means. Go ahead.
And perverseness and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in the high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it assured to take fire from the hearth, or to take water out of the pit. But thus saith Yahuwah Elohim.
What do you say?
Kadash one of Yasharal, in returning and rest shall you be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength.
He said, returning and what?
And returning and rest shall you be saved.
Tell them what rest is, man. So you need the shoe. The first thing you need to do is shoe, which is to turn.
This is nakah, a descent. That's restfulness, lighting down, quietness, to rest, to be set on.
Now, if you look at that resting and settle down, what does it take us back to? Right back to Matthew, 11 and 30, or 29. Or 28, come unto me, all you that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So he said in repentance and rest. And what else?
Shall you be saved in quietness and in confidence.
Pause. Now tell them saved, quietness, and confidence. But the reason why we have to pause and look at that, you need to understand what he is communicating to you.
Saved is Yeshua. Be safe.
So he told you that repentance,
or to deliver.
To rest or to lay down your burdens, as it is referenced in Matthew 11, that is what will cause you to be delivered. That was what will give you a defense. That is what will give you protection. What's the next one? Shalom, Rohan, man.
Quietness is shakat. That is to repose, to appease. That's idleness. Quietness. To be at, to be and to give.
To be still.
To be still.
To be still. See, everybody got in their mind that they have to do all these different things. And you know what that take you back to if he said be still? If he said being still is how you would get your salvation. What is the first passage that should come to your mind? Exodus chapter 14. And that's why when you hear these people who say they believe in the word and they telling you, are you waiting for somebody to come down and do this for you and do that for you? Ain't nobody coming, you your own savior. That's a nigga don't believe in God, man. Because guess what? Now, let's take the New Testament out of it. That's not something a single solitary prophet or godly man from Genesis to Malachi ever said out of their mouth. Not one of them at any time said, oh, we ain't got to wait on Yahuwah. We could do it ourselves. When you read repeatedly what he say, wait on Yahuwah. Matter of fact, he said, blessed are those that wait on Yahuwah. So these are niggas who don't trust in God, don't hope in God, don't believe in God. Why would you listen to him? Moses didn't say we can take the Egyptians down. We ain't got to wait on him. That's not what Hezekiah said when Sennacherib was running his mouth. It's not what happened. Man, look here, man. How can you save yourself and you can't even save yourself from death? That's telling you you ain't got the power that you think you got. But it's a reflection and a manifestation of the lack of tikvah and batak that individuals have in the word of Yahuwah. They don't believe in him because they think believe is what they perceive it to be in the Christian church. They don't know that believe is literal trust and confidence in the faithfulness of the individual speaking. But you know why? Because these niggas unfaithful to their own word and they unfaithful to others. So how could they ever trust somebody who is continually faithful? It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Shalom, Mother Shalom. Come on with it. Where you at with it?
Exodus 14.
Oh, let me tell you what, verse. I'm sorry. 14 and 13. Exodus 14 and 13, everybody.
And Moses said unto the people, fear you not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahuwah.
Stand what?
Stand still.
Stand what?
Stand still.
And see what?
The salvation of Yahuwah, which he will show you today.
Tell him what stand still means. That's the same thing he told Elijah, was to be still.
That's your side, to place, to station.
Take your stand. Take your stand and watch your God deliver you. But people don't believe in that, man. You know what I'm saying? To keep it 100% honest with you. And it just is what it is. And the problem with most people is you want to argue with somebody to make them believe it. I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm talking about? Not me personally. Okay, then don't believe it then. What that mean to me? That man told you through the apostle, if some should not believe, does that make the faith of Elohim of none effect? Elohim forbid. Peace, brother, on my man. Man, I ain't on that, man. I told you I did talk to an unbeliever dude the other day. He talking about, I told straight, man, I don't care if you believe in Jesus, cuz. I genuinely don't care. Oh, you, no, bro. Shalom, Sister Gwen. Look here, man. I've been talking to people who don't believe in the Lord for over a decade, man. I ain't never sat down and tried to persuade or convince none of them to believe in the man. I'm going to present you the information. You can accept it or reject it. What that mean to me? When you see the man, you ain't going to be able to say you never heard it, though. I bet you that. And then on top of that, with some of them, man, you know what's finna go. Go ahead and give me that cast of pearls before swine, man. Sometimes you got to remember, man, some of y'all be too amped up, man, to put your dope on the table, man. That's why you get robbed. Because you serving everybody. That's how you serve the police, because you running up to every car that pull on the block. You know what I'm saying? Desirous and hungry to make a serve, man. Sometimes you got to be like, nah, cuz I ain't got no work. I ain't got nothing for you. I'm talking about you gotta have a whole gang of work in your pocket. You gotta have a whole gang of work in the bushes. You gotta have a whole gang of work in the stash house. But boy, I'm not serving you, boy. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, I'm good. I don't want your money. You know that's cool. You know what I'm talking about? To say, nah, I'm good. See, when you thirsty to catch a sale, that's how you end up in prison, man. That's how you end up shot after a nigga rob you. You know what I'm saying? And that's effectively what he was telling you when he said don't cast your pearls before swine, man. He said they're going to rend them underfoot. Matthew what? 5 and what? Or is it 6?
7 and 6. Well,
7 and 6. Matthew 7. Read me, shoot. Just give me verse 1 and go from there. Matthew 7 and 1. Give him a chance to turn that corner. Matthew 7 and 1.
Say, judge not.
Hold on. Give him a chance to turn that corner, man. Go ahead. Matthew 7 and 1.
Say, judge not that you be not judged. Mm-hmm. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. And with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. Mm-hmm. And why behold you the mote that is in your brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in your own eye? Or how will you say to your brother, let me pull out the mote out of your eye, and behold, the beam is in your own eye? Go ahead. You hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of your own eye, and then shall you see clearly to cast out the mote out of your brother's eye. Come on. Give not that which is Kadash unto dogs. Paul, tell them what Kadash is, and tell them what dogs is. This is for the people who ain't heard it before. What's that which is Kadash, sir? Yes, Hagios, Kadash one, Kadash thing, a saint. Don't give that which is separate to a dog. You need to understand what a dog is. It's not what these stupid niggas be telling. And that's Koum. Well, I'm using blue letter. Other one gonna have the other definitions for the East. I'm gonna share with you too, because them boys got caught on a word today, talking, man, and that word didn't mean what they thought it meant. Which is why it's good to know what the words actually mean in the language they were written in.
And that way you can see if somebody has an erroneous teaching. It doesn't mean that they intended to deceive with the teaching per se. You understand what I'm saying? Because most people teach what they had been taught. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't really be realizing, like, that don't really line up with the work. I know everybody be quick to say somebody lying and this, that, there, and the third. You have to understand, to be lying means you are intentionally trying to deceive. Most people are not effectively, if you say something that's not true, you are lying. But that doesn't mean that this particular individual is a liar if he believed that to be true. You know what I'm talking about? That he was not intending to deceive. Most people are not intending to deceive with the word. Now, some do deceive because they're more inclined to want to hold on to their particular doctrine than just to go where the word take them. You know what I'm saying? See, you got to go where the Lord take you, not where you want to go, not where your teacher took you. You know what I'm talking about? The word take you where it take you. It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. What dog is it, Michael?
That is Kuon. That is a dog, or metaphorically a man of impure mind, an impudent man.
This is a man of an impure mind. So he said, don't give that which is set apart to a man whose mind is not pure. Do you understand how serious that is, man? Now, if you want to know what it is to be impudent, that's someone who has no respect. They're rude. They don't have any respect, especially to someone who was in an important position. So if this person don't even have respect for God, you ain't even supposed to share that with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to pay attention to what the man telling you. The man giving you the game, but guess what we don't do? You gonna do what you want to do, thinking you pleasing him, and he gonna look at you and told you, dumb nigga, I told you not to do that. You crying out to me for a situation you shouldn't even have been in because I gave you the game on not to do that. So if you have something that is sanctified, you are not supposed to give it to an individual with an impure mind who has no respect or reverence for God. You're not supposed to give him that. He said, "Now don't give that which is Kadash and the dog." Shalom, Brother Mark. And what else did he say, man?
Neither cast you your pearls before swine.
Neither cast your what?
Your pearls before swine.
Now tell him what pearls is, man. And if you don't know what pearls is, man, them Proverbs, man. Them Proverbs, man. Go ahead.
Margarites, a pearl, a proverb, a word of great value.
A word of great. Now pause with it, because you know what we got to go with it. Ecclesiastes 12:9. He said, don't give them no proverb. Well, you know, a proverb is a dark saying. And if it's a dark saying, that takes us to prophecy. And the testimony of Yahusha is the ruach of prophecy. So when it pertains to the witness of the Son of God, don't cast that to no swine. And that's why I be telling them niggas, nah, I ain't got nothing for you. I'm not telling you nothing. About nothing. At all. For what? I'm going to do what the man told me to do. I ain't got to prove nothing to you, man. Come on, man.
And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs.
He said in order many what?
Many proverbs.
Tell Proverbs definition in Hebrew for the people who may not know. Tell them what a mashal is, man. Put them up on the game, man.
That is a proverb, a parable, proverbial saying, aphorism, byword, a similitude, a parable, sentences of ethical wisdom.
You see that there, a parable? A similitude? And he he'll say 12 and 10 because I'm finna say it wrong, man. Dwayne Jamal. Go ahead.
I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets.
I don't gotta share that. But see, I'm gonna tell y'all what people who don't believe in the Lord try to hit you with. See, come over here to 1 Peter chapter 3, right? Pick me about verse 13, man. You gotta always look at stuff in context, man. Stop letting people manipulate you into arguments and conversations because they want to scoff and mock. You gotta know the game to decline. Most people are unaccustomed to somebody who will not engage with them in an argument. Absolutely, Sister Gwen. So he can blaspheme the living God. You know what I'm saying? And it's not for him. And it's not for him. And if you was sharing the testimony or the word and somebody went to blaspheming, you're supposed to depart from them. You're not supposed to continue to engage with them. You just let them have it. You got it, cuz. You want to speak ill of the worthy name by which we are called? Then I'm going to let you do that by yourself. Go ahead.
And who is he that will harm you if you be followers of that which is good?
Nobody.
But and if you suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are you, and be
blessed are you, baby.
Of the terror, neither be troubled. And sanctify the Lord Elohim in your hearts, and be always ready to give an answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you.
See, they try to get you to say you should prove to them that Jesus is this in the text with that verse, but he talking about if you being persecuted. You know what I'm saying? That while you suffering that persecution, that you give a good reason of the hope that's in you. And he telling you what Isaiah told you. And let's see what Isaiah had going on or what Peter is referencing. Isaiah 8:8. And this is why I tell you to know the word. Pay attention to the nuance. So people can't come at you with that silly stuff, man. And you thinking you got to sit back here and pour your whole heart and soul out to this jackass. You ain't got to tell this person nothing. Ain't nobody persecuting you. You want to argue. Argue with your mama. Go ahead, man.
And he shall pass through Yehuda. He shall overflow and go over. He shall reach to the neck, and the stretching out of his wings shall fill the breadth of your land. O Emmanuel, associate yourselves, O you people, and you shall be broken in pieces. Give ear, all you of far countries. Gird yourselves, you shall be broken in pieces. Gird yourselves, you shall be broken in pieces.
Listen.
Take counsel together, and it shall come to nothing. Speak the word, and it shall not stand.
Watch it.
For Elohim is with us.
That's right.
For Yahuwah spake thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people.
Don't go in the way they going.
Say you not a confederacy.
Don't say a conspiracy.
To all them to whom this people shall say a confederacy, neither fear you their fear, nor be afraid.
Come on.
Sanctify Yahuwah of hosts himself.
Sanctify who?
Yahuwah of hosts.
And let Yahuwah
be your fear.
And let Yahuwah
be your dread.
So you see that's dealing with people who are Confederate. Shalom, Eastman. You see that's dealing with people who want to persecute you, man. That's where Peter got that from. So don't let somebody try to tell you you're supposed to give reason of your hope. Man, hope these nuts in your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? That's the hope I got for you. I hope you get out my face. Now, you don't have to be as cruel as that, but sometimes I be wanting to be disrespectful because that's what a dude told me. Is that what Jesus would say? Yes. Yes, he would. I don't think people realize how disrespectful the Lord was to the scribes and the Pharisees. Are most of y'all aware how disrespectful he was to them men? But he was extremely disrespectful to them. Was he disrespectful to the blind man? No. Was he disrespectful to the lame man? No. Was he disrespectful to the lady who had the issue of blood? No. Was he disrespectful to Zacchaeus? No. Was he disrespectful to the woman caught in adultery? No. But them scribes and Pharisees, man, he ain't showed them no respect. And you know why he ain't showed them no respect? Because they weren't worthy of respect. And you know why they weren't worthy of respect? Because they were unfaithful men. They were hypocrites. They were oppressors. They were abusers. They were liars. Why would you give respect to that type of man? That's a dishonorable man. I think people really need to really pay attention to how the Lord spoke to them people, of how sarcastic and disrespectful he was to them men, with no care, concern, or regard. This thought process that this man walked around like with lilies in his head and flowers in his hand, hugging and kissing everybody, is the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Man, he was a kind man, but he told you he was an austere man, rigorously self-disciplined and uncompromising. Said he was harsh. When he tell you that he was austere, that means he harsh. I mean, that man don't play. And he ain't playing around with no buster. But to those who desire life, that man is going to be kind and compassionate, loving and caring, just like any man would be. If he a man, you know what I'm saying? All that extra super tough guy stuff, man, nigga need to go to hell on with all that there, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. At this point, how the world moving, nigga who got to be tough all the time, that nigga might be gay. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to be funny or to be shocking. I'm saying that because that's an overcompensation. Ain't nobody tough all the time. All the time, bro. Damn, you tough with your grandma? You tough with your mama? You tough with your daddy? Your daddy's 73 years old. All they do is sit in the recliner. He don't even go nowhere. You tough with him? You tough with the babies? With the babies? God damn it. That's right. He said, man, say it all. No, seriously, though, I'm not trying to be funny, though. I'm saying that because when you see that, that's an overcompensation. That doesn't mean that that's 100% accurate. I'm just saying that that's something that should cause you to pause. When you see that's with anybody and anything. When you see an overcompensation in a behavior, that's covering up for something else. Now, what that cover up means is that person knows, but boy, ain't nobody tough all the time. Come on, man. The Lord was as real as they come. And when Lazarus died, that man wept in front of everybody. He was as real as they come. But when it was time to go, that man said, hey, boy, I need y'all to come up here with me, man, because it's real right now. I'm talking about I'm depressed unto death. It's real right now. That's what dude kept saying, too. Talking about Jesus gay. He washed people's feet. Nigga, so what? That's how you know this nigga a buster, because that was Israelite custom to wash people's feet. You jackass. And if you knew quote unquote Middle Eastern customs and greetings, you would know that. You would know that was customary, that if a man came into your home, you would wash his feet. Or at least at the bare minimum, give him a bowl so he can wash his own feet. He want to call him gay. You know what I told him, Cindy? I say Moses kissed a man. Was he gay? He ain't had no statement for that. So is he gay because he gave a man a set apart kiss? Nigga, if you think about gay, it's probably because you gay. You know what I'm saying? You know, we can joke around with the pause and all that stuff, man, just because nigga be immature is funny. But let's not make no mistake. Man, I ain't thinking about no faggot stuff all day long, man. You know what I'm talking about? I just participate in the immaturity of the jokes because I've been doing it for a long time. But trust and believe, man, I don't see no stuff and be like, oh, that's gay. He must be gay. Nigga, I ain't thinking about nobody's penis, man, other than my own. Making sure I don't have no type of cancer in that particular area, whether it's prostate or urinary tract or testicular. Straight up, I'm not thinking about that, man. Like I told you, that's the immaturity of cracking these nut jokes and pause jokes since 1995. It's funny. You know what I'm saying? Sue me. But the reality is, man, nigga ain't thinking about no gay stuff, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I ain't never in my life saw somebody with a banana and thought he got a penis in his mouth. Oh, he eating a hot dog. That's like how that even, I don't even know how that started to equate in your mind that you thinking about a wee-wee. That don't even come, that never came into my mind until I heard dudes saying it, and that's how you got a glizzy, ha. But after I done get old, man, eat your hot dog, huh? Nigga, I'm not finna alter how I eat a banana because this nigga thinking about a penis. You know what I'm talking about? Why you got that on your brain early in the morning? What you got going on? Because that's not on my mind early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Now it depends if you know the person and y'all crack them type of jokes. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's just in your circle. You already know what come with that. Them your friends, that's what you do. But just random, nigga, you gay. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, I don't even know you to be. Don't play with me like that, cuz. I don't know you, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro, don't play with me like that. We don't play them type of games. Yeah, you got to know somebody to do that, man. You know, case in point, I give you when I move on. We were young. I want to say we were probably about, I probably been 16 to 17. I think Fat Boy probably about 15, 16. We was out with our Puerto Rican homeboy from Brooklyn, Rick and Mike. And Rick kept me like, are you going to throw the ball so I can play with it? Throw me the ball so I can play with it. We died laughing. You know what I'm talking about? We got jokes for days off of that. Like he not thinking about that. But again, we teenagers, we're immature. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna look for any reason to crack a joke because the reality of the situation is it's immature comedy. When I say immature, not that you immature is forth is like maturity in real life, but that your comedy taste is immature. You got different type of comedy. You got immature comedy, which is gross and rude comedy. You got mature comedy. Then you got dark comedy. You know what I'm saying? You got all different types. That's what I mean. It's immature comedy. It's the most base level comedy in the world. But guess what, Civic? That type of comedy is hilarious 7 times out of 10. I ain't gonna say 9 times out of 7 because if it's not done well, it's terrible. It's terrible. See, I'm not gonna lie. Outside of holiness, everything is starting to be a feminine. Oh yeah, I forgot about dry humor. Dry humor is great, but you have to be witty enough. Everybody can't do dry humor because everybody's not witty enough to pull that off. See, I'm not gonna lie. Outside of holiness, everything is starting to be feminine focused to me. Just seems like everything is so hyper focused. Men not supposed to be that way. Go worship your God and move on. No, I understand. It's because we live in a world that's seeking to feminize men, but that's another conversation. Come on with it, man. Where you at with it?
Isaiah 8 and 14.
Go ahead and read.
It said, he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the houses of the Asherah, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
That good. You know, I think who was good with dry humor, Omar? George Carlin. Yeah, George Carlin was a. Then you got slapstick humor. You know, that's physical comedy. That ain't. You know, that's just depends. You know what I'm saying? But George Carlin's dry humor was top notch. Top notch. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know who that is, you know, Google that white man. YouTube. He was hilarious. You know what I'm talking about? Absolutely hilarious and 100% real too. Where we at with it? Come on back to Proverbs 6. Oh, no. Isaiah 30. We didn't finish that. You're in verse 15. Yeah. Martin, Jim Carrey, and Robin Williams definitely was on that edge. You know, Pauly Shore and all that there. You know, it works, but it gets old. Now, Robin Williams had dry humor too if you saw his stand-up. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Say, for thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, the Kadosh one of Yasharal, and returning in rest shall you be saved.
That's right.
And quietness and in confidence shall be your strength.
Tell him what confidence and strength is, man. He said, but you would not. He said, these were the things that you would need to be saved, and you said no. My God, today.
That's a bit trust, confidence.
Trust. This son that, you know what I'm saying? I'm mentioning this here because Mama Steph say this all the time. And one thing about Yahuwah is that he keeps confidences. What did that mean? Like he said, pour out your heart to him. He is a refuge for us. What did that mean? That means you can trust that his word won't fail and that he won't betray you. Most people don't keep confidences. What does that mean? That means a person is confident enough that if they spill X, Y, Z to you, that you will not share it, that it stops with you. You know what I'm talking about? Most people don't do that. When you're talking about sensitive information and things of that nature, like people's lives aren't cannon fodder. You know what I'm saying? People's hardships or struggles or pain are not to be used for topics of conversation if ain't nobody speaking on it on what they can do to alleviate that for them or what they can do to walk with them to make it a little easier to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't coming through to make that easier to deal with, then what was the point of you discussing it? There was no point. You know what I'm talking about? So people have to be confident to know that, hey, man, you're not going to speak on X, Y, Z once I tell you that. Because that's not what's the name's information. And that's why some people, now, of course, Yahuwah ain't never going to tell your business. The only people he going to tell your business to is the Malakim. You know why? Because they minister to the El of salvation. Go ahead and give them strength. Go ahead and give them some help. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to remember that. That go back to what we were talking about before about stop talking so goddamn much. You know what I'm saying? Know how to keep some stuff to yourself, man. Everybody don't need to know X, Y, Z. Your husband don't need to know X, Y, Z. Your wife don't need to know X, Y, Z if it ain't got nothing to do with them. Your friends don't need to know X, Y, Z if it ain't got nothing to do with them. They shouldn't be privy to that. You know what I'm saying? That junk was acceptable when you were a child. You're a grown man. You're a grown woman. You should know how to be quiet. That's nobody's business. Again, unless somebody told you something and it disturbed your heart to enough that you was like, I need to rally some people to help them. Depending on what the situation and the circumstance is. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to make it a little easier to deal with. Ain't that what he said? Those that are strong, that should be the only reason. And if that's not your reason, and then you should ask that person, hey, is it cool if I do X, Y, Z? Because I want to try to get a group of people. You shouldn't do that without mentioning that to them. Because some people are going to be offended by that. Not necessarily from the help, but that you didn't run that by them. You know what I'm saying? Because depending on what it is, everybody don't want people in their business. Some people don't care, some people do. So it's just best to take that track first, man. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead.
So, but you said, no, for we will flee upon horses.
Oh my.
Therefore shall you flee, and we will ride upon the swift.
My God.
Therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one. At the rebuke of 5 shall you flee.
Listen.
Till you be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, and as an ensign on a hill.
Pause. Run that again. Listen to it. Did you catch it?
1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one. At the rebuke of 5 shall you flee, till you be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain.
Tell them what a beacon is, man.
That's Torin, a pole, as a mast or a flag, a beacon.
A pole. Now pause, right? You know you got something in Proverbs for that. I hope you had caught that he telling you that this is another example of the apostles fleeing from the Lord. Ain't that right? That's what that is, ain't it? Read it again.
So 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, and the rebuke of 5 shall you flee, till you be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain,
So you
and
be
as
left
an ensign on a hill.
As an ensign on a hill. Now come over here to Proverbs 23 and 34. You know what? You can make it 29 just because. Proverbs 23 and 29.
Who have
now
wealth.
pause, right? This part of this information is a part of I'm going to betroth you in righteousness. And that righteousness is the faithfulness of the man who got on that pole. You know what I'm talking about? So let me not leave that out. Because even mentioned in that Proverbs 6, with that word that will keep you while you sleep, and that word that will speak to you when you awake. Because remember, when he came to Lazarus' grave, he said, what? Lazarus come forth. And he said he'll come with a great shout. Now we go into Isaiah 30, really for while you walking, it will lead you. But in the midst of that, we also are going across other things that are standing out, that are focusing on the betrothing you in Zadok. Because the Zadok live by their Amunah. You know what I'm talking about? So pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get caught up on, oh, we going here, we going there. Always pause your mind. Whether it's now or whether you taking notes and you look at it later, whether you watch it later, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't watch no video after it's uploaded. Not now. You know what I'm talking about? Never have in 13 years. You know what I'm talking about? Probably won't plan on doing it. Because that's just weird to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to sit here and look at, you know how vain that is, in my opinion? That's just my opinion. Some people might lie, I want to take this. That's fine. I literally seen a dude say, don't send me no video if I'm not in it. I'm like, that is wild. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I know some people don't like people to send them reels. I don't give a damn. Because I know most people sending you reels because they ran across something, they thought it was funny, and they thought you might think it was fun. For me, all that tells me is somebody saw something and it made them think about you. You know what I'm talking about? So don't be offended because somebody had you on their mind and they seen something. And they were like, man, I think that's funny. You know what I'm saying? Or something informational or something like, man, you seen this nonsense? You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it, man. Just mean you on somebody's mind. Don't mean they will walk around thinking about, let me see how many reels I can send bro today. Might seen something and say, man, bro might think that's funny. I'm gonna send it to him. That's how far them people done gone that you get offended because somebody had you on their mind, man. Like, people is wild. Oh, I believe it, shoot. Niggas send me reels all the time. I don't be mad. You know what I'm saying? I don't get to them as timely as I used to because, well, how the hell in that van, boy? You know what I'm talking about? I ain't thinking about looking at nothing in that. You hear me? I'm talking about, and that junk make my phone hot, so I can't even put it on charger. Coming from the heat to the heat, junk. I had a phone catch fire one time. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, it happened at my house. I think Abby knocked the phone out of my hand, and that junk hit the floor. Peace, brother Joseph, man, but that was called fire. Boy, I was like, oh my Lord. It wasn't a great fire, but it was a fire nonetheless. When I say fire, I mean a flame. Yeah. Like an actual flame. It wasn't a great flame, but it was a flame nonetheless. Go ahead, man.
Say, who have woe, who have sorrow, who have contentions, who have babblings, who have wounds without cause, who have redness of eyes.
Who have what?
Redness of eyes.
Who tarry long.
At the wine.
Tarry long.
At the wine.
Take.
They that
drink. This is my blood, which is shed in the New Testament for remission of sins. Shalom, Brother Shaul. Roll with it, man.
They that tarry long at the wine. They that go to seek mixed wine.
Mixed wine, baby.
Look not you upon the wine when it is red, when it give its color.
Now notice he said who had woe and babblings and contentions. He got all that there, man. Tell him what babblings is. You know what woe is. That's destruction. You know what contention is. That's strife. Shalom, Brother Ernest, man.
Babbling is siyat, an utterance. A babbling, communication, a complaint, meditation,
prayer.
Talk.
Come on, man. That man went to complaining. If it be possible, let this cup pass from me, man. He ain't say it till after he drunk the cup. He tarried long at the wine, man. Come on, we just got to stir up your mind, pure minds by way of remembrance. Some of y'all remember, some of you don't. Some of you ain't never heard it. It's all great. Come on with it.
Look not you upon the wine when it is red.
Don't look at it.
When it give its color in the cup. When it move itself aright.
Uh-oh.
At the last, it bite like a serpent.
Uh-oh.
It sting like an adder. Your eyes.
Pause. So you notice he say once you drink that cup, it's going to sting like a what?
Like an adder.
And do what else? What, like a serpent?
What, bite like a serpent, sting like an adder.
What the law shows you what happened when that serpent bit them people, man, they died. Shalom, Brother Robert, man. They died, man. Man, that man drank that cup, he died, man. Go ahead.
Your eyes shall behold strange women, and your heart shall utter perverse things.
Uh-oh.
You shall be as he that lie down in the midst of the sea.
Lie down in the midst of the people.
Or as he that lie down or lie upon the top of a mast.
Tell them what a mast is, man. You know what a mast is. You been on a boat. You been on a boat. You been on a cruise ship. I'm talking about a boat.
That's cabal, in the sense of furnished with ropes, a mast.
That's a pole on a boat. Go ahead, man. That's it.
And it said, they have stricken me. Shall you say, and I was not sick? They have beaten me, and I felt it not. When shall I wake? I will seek it yet again.
He said, when I wake, I'm going to seek it what?
When shall I wake? I will seek it yet again.
That's resurrection of the dead again, now ain't it? With his crucifixion, right? So take it back to Isaiah 30. What verse you in? Call it out for the people, man.
Verse 18.
We got to go buy some ice cream, Joanne. We don't have none.
Verse 18.
Go ahead. Isaiah 30 and 18.
And therefore will Yahuwah wait that he may be gracious unto you.
Hold on, back him up to 17, man. Give him that beacon again, man.
1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one. At the rebuke of 5 shall you flee, until you be left as a beacon.
So everybody flee till he was left on a pole, on the top of the mountain. Go ahead.
And as an ensign on the hill.
Tell them what an ensign is, man.
It's nace, a flag, a sail,
a standard,
a banner, pole, standard, a sign.
Now, till you be left as a what?
Or a token.
A token. Or a sign. And you know what? The sign is the word. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what people missing. Yahushua was the sign. And they missed it. Like I heard this lady, this dude be making these videos about these people. I ain't gonna put that out there because go to Isaiah 13 and 1. Put these people out there like that. But in the midst of that, the lady was talking about she ain't never seen no signs and wonders in no Christian church. But this is the thing, when you know the word, them signs and wonders are for people who don't believe. You know what I'm saying? Now she claimed that she was already a believer. You know what I'm talking about? And I mentioned that because, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago or a week ago, with the great temptation that'll come upon the whole earth. Signs and wonders in and of itself does not mean God is with that person. Signs and wonders can deceive you. Remember, he said, show us a sign. He said, you won't get no sign. He said, the only people get a sign is a what? An adulterous generation. So that's an unfaithful period of time. They'll get a sign. But Paul let you know that prophesying is for those who believe. Those who believe the word do not need to see all of these signs and wonders as proof. They don't need to see nobody speaking in tongues. They don't need to see nobody raising the dead. They don't need to see nobody healing nobody, because they believe the word, because the sign is the word. That's their token. That's their end sign. You know what I'm talking about? Most people need to see all these signs because they don't believe the word. See, the signs were following the apostles because the gospel of Yahushua had never been preached. So they were going in the midst of a group of unbelievers. Not unbelievers because they were inherently wicked, unbelievers because they had never heard it. We talked about it the other day. How can you call on him whom you have not heard? And how can you hear without a preacher? And how can they preach except they be sent? Because faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. Faith don't come from signs. We also notice he showed them signs and wonders when they were in Egypt. Why? Because they didn't know Yahuwah. So when you hear an Israelite tell you they knew Yahuwah in Egypt, that man is a fool. He's uninformed. He's unlearned. You don't show signs to people who already know. Do you not realize when you go scan the prophets, man, that them men weren't walking around showing them great signs and wonders? They were just speaking word to them. They were doing things that were a sign, say like with Ezekiel carrying, you know what I'm talking about, the stake on his shoulder. But what signs and wonders was Ezekiel working? What was Jeremiah doing? Or Nahum doing? Or Zechariah, Zephaniah doing? They weren't doing any of those things. They were giving them the word. Remember what the Lord said in the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. He said Abraham told him they got Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. He didn't say show them a sign, because somebody coming back from the dead is a what? A sign. He said, no, man, they got the word, blood. If they're not going to hear the word, they're not going to believe that sign. See, we think the sign going to make them believe. It's not for most people. It's not. And that's harsh to say, because faith don't come from the sign. Faith comes from the word. And people don't want to hear that. Man, Darius showed me like what BOA said about belief. Boy, that junk was terrible. He told me Moses didn't believe in God. God showed himself to him. Man, he had to believe in God to do what the man said. Because he would have to believe that he was going to do what he said he was going to do. I don't know why that's so, man, the hatred for Christianity has warped so many people's mind. That is just completely unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, man, I thank the Lord that I was never part of a Christian church, so that I never got mired in that type of thought process that I would have to wiggle out and unlearn all of that, man. So that should be evident from our forefathers coming out of Egypt. You would think, Ernie, man. You would think. But unfortunately, it's not. And the reality is what I'm saying right now will offend many. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this nigga here crazy. Nah, go read the book. Put your presuppositions to the side and just look at what it say. Just look at what it say. If you look at what it say, then you just have no choice but, hey, man, it is what it is. Come on, man. Where you at, Isaiah 30? Mm-hmm. Come on, man. Read verse 16 again. Yeah.
For what you said, no, for we will flee upon horses, therefore shall you flee, and we will ride upon the swift, therefore shall they that pursue you be swift.
That's right.
1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one.
That's right.
The rebuke of 5 shall you flee, till you be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, and as an ensign on a hill.
Go ahead.
Therefore will you await, that he may be gracious unto you.
And you notice he said an ensign on the hill. What was the name of the hill the Lord crucified at? You done forgot. I know some of y'all know a gospel song with it in it. I don't know a gospel song with it in it, but I just know that there probably has to be one. Don't nobody know the name of the hill? It ain't Hank Hill. Is it King of the Hill? Come over here to the book of Matthew, man. I know everybody can't get to to be able to type that quickly, depending on what medium they are watching this on. Luke 23, actually. 23 and 28. No, Golgotha is the place of the skull, but that wasn't the hill. Not Calgary, but close enough. But that's in Canada. Luke 23. What I told you.
28.
Go ahead.
But Yahushua turning unto them said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me.
Don't weep for me,
yourselves and for your children.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
For behold, the days are coming, in the which they shall say, Baruch are the barren, and the wombs that never bare, the paps which never gave suck. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills cover us. For if they do these things in a green tree,
what shall be done in a dry?
And there were also 2 other malefactors led with him to be put to death. When they were come to the place which is called Calvary,
which is called who?
Calvary.
There,
they crucified
and
him,
the malefactors,
one on the right hand and the other on the left.
Tell them what Calvary means. Yeah, Golgotha is the place of the skull. I will grab that in a minute. I know it. I said that's why I said close enough. I know what you meant, Josh. I would mess with
cranion. That is cranium, Calvary, skull.
So with that one, you got 2 different names. So Golgotha is the same because it's the same place. Go ahead and read them, John 19 to 17. So Calvary and Golgotha interchangeable. So if you said Golgotha, you was on the head too. Because I ain't know Calvary meant place of the skull because I never cared to look. Go ahead.
And he, bearing his stake, went forth into a place called of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha.
So that's the difference. Calvary is in the Greek. Golgotha is in the Hebrew. And I seen somebody arguing with that, talking about dudes say Jesus is not from Bethlehem. See, they put on the stake that he was from Nazarene. I say, Lord have mercy. Read Micah 5:1 because dude was going back and forth about that. That junk was hilarious. And that's when I began to realize that I didn't like this particular gentleman because he was being anal retentive. Now, this wasn't being like this, but you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you saying he from Bethlehem, like you turn around and you contradicting yourself, trying to disprove somebody. Why do that? Just acknowledge he's from Bethlehem. You know what I'm saying? This man literally told me, it is not where you born at, it's where you raised. I said, no. Regardless of what you want to say, and I gave him this example. My mama claimed Jacksonville, Florida as her home. She was not born here. Matter of fact, she wasn't even raised here. By the time she got here, she was almost an adult. She was like 16 years old. You know what I'm talking about? She was a teen. She lived on the West Coast. She was born on the West Coast. She lived majority of her life on the West Coast. You know where Michael Jordan from? Brooklyn. You know where he was raised at? In North Carolina. But guess where he's from, though, Civic? Brooklyn. Because you know 9 times out of 10, what happens when you're born in the city most of the time? You got family there. You know what I'm talking about? So that means that's where you're from. That's where your roots or your people come from. Because more than likely, they have generations of people who are from there. Then you might move somewhere else. And then it get lost and you don't claim where you from because you spent more time in this particular city than that. So Stanley saying, Stanley born in Brooklyn, he don't claim. If somebody be like, oh, you from Jacksonville? He can say, no, I'm from Brooklyn. Simple as that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shoot, Pop was from Harlem. And that's the thing. He claimed Baltimore and the Bay Area. I think it's dumb. You know what I'm saying? You're born where you're born at. You think all them people knew this man was born in nigga, that's stupid. That's right. You think all them people knew this man was born in Bethlehem? Come on, man. Micah 5:1.
Now gather yourself in troops, O daughter of troops. He have laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Yasharal with the rod upon the cheek.
See, he said this with David. Who smited David on the cheek? Go ahead.
Say, but you, Bethlehem, Ephratah, you be a little among thousands of Yehuda. Yet out of you shall he come forth unto me that is to be ruler in Yasharal.
Who's going forth been from what?
Of old.
And from what?
Everlasting.
Man, David's going forth ain't from old. And it's definitely not from Olam. But look at verse 3 though.
Therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travail have brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return to the children of Yasharal.
See, I asked this man one question. I said, how could this be David and David is dead when this is written? David been dead. He told me, oh, he going to resurrect from the... So he going to resurrect from the dead to do what they're saying? That's wild. That is wild. That is wild. But they ridicule you, though. You know what I'm talking about? Now, we didn't finish in Matthew 7, right, with the swine. So go to Matthew 7:7, man, and tell them what the swine is by definition. That just hit my mind. I said, yeah, that was the dumbest thing I ever heard, man. And I've heard a lot of dumb things.
Swine is koiros, of uncertain derivation, a hog, a swine.
Basically, somebody who's unclean or someone who's abominable. Don't give them proverbs to an unclean, abominable man, because they're gonna do what? Rend them underfoot. They're gonna step on it. They're gonna trample it. Tell them what rendered underfoot is, man. That's what I meant by you're gonna get robbed, because you want to serve everybody.
Trample is karapateo, that is to tread down, trample underfoot, to trample on, to treat with rudeness and insult. To treat with insulting neglect.
They're going to disrespect it.
Or to reject with disdain.
They're going to reject it with hatred. So why would you share that with them? When he told you to be wise as serpent and harmless as doves, you have to be wise enough to know who to talk to, who not to talk to, and what to talk to them about. This thought process that all these boys say that you got to run up on everybody, that is not what the Lord told you to do. And truth be told, most of these niggas, he ain't told them to do that. He really told you to abide till I come. You took it upon yourself to do something that you ain't been properly trained for. You ain't been trained for war. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, man. Where we at with it? We good at Michael, man. Go back to Isaiah 30. Junk crazy out here, man. You better guard your grill. Boop. Boop. Boop.
Verse 18.
Isaiah 30 and 18. Molly.
Therefore will Yahuwah wait that he may be gracious unto you. Therefore will
he wait that he might be what?
Gracious unto you.
That he might be what?
Gracious unto you.
Tell him what gracious is, man.
Kanan, to bend to or stoop in kindness to an inferior, to favor.
Loving kindness, pity, compassion, mercy. He said, even though you rejected the rest, the quietness that would be your confidence, I'm going to still be merciful to you. But they tell you that's a New Testament thing, though. This who this man been from the jump street. It's not our fault you don't know God. Continue.
And therefore will he be exalted that he may have mercy upon you. For Yahuwah is the Elohim of judgment.
Pause. Now, he said he's the Elohim of what?
Of judgment.
Tell him go ahead and see and make sure that's mishpat there. But he said in his mercy, he'll be what? Exalted, correct? Now come over here to John chapter 12, you did, and give me verse 23. No. 31. Straight to the point. 31 with it. John 12:31.
Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And I, if I be lifted up from their rats, will I draw all men unto me. This he says, signifying with death he should die. The people answered him, we have heard out of the law that a man shall abide forever. How say you, the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is the Son of Man?
Go ahead.
And Yahushua said unto them, yet a little while, It is light with you. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walk in darkness know not where he go. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may be the children of light. These things spake Yahushua and departed and did hide himself from them.
Paul, listen, right? This man literally said, now is the judgment of this world. Didn't he say he'd be exalted and Yahuwah is the God of judgment? Because now he finna right the wrong, which is death. But I want you to read verse 37, man, just for what's being said there. John 12 and 37.
But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him.
Yet they do what?
Believe not.
That goes to the point I was telling you, just because somebody works signs and wonders does not mean that they're going to believe. Signs and wonders are for unbelievers, but it doesn't guarantee belief. Continue. That the same
of Isaiah the prophet
might be what?
Fulfilled, which spake, the Lord who have believed our report, to whom have the arm of the Lord been revealed. Therefore they could not believe, because of that Isaiah said again, he's blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with eyes nor understand with heart, and be what? Converted. And I should what? Heal them. These things, saith Isaiah, when he what? Saw his esteem and did what? Spake of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him. But because of who? The Pharisees. They did not what? Confess, lest they should what? Be put out of the synagogue. Why? For they love the praise of men more than the praise of Allah. Because they love the what? The praise of men more than the praise of Allah. Because they love the what? The praise of men more than the praise of Allah. He said, how can you believe which seek honor one from another and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? That's what most people's problem is. You want the praise of men. You know what most people's problem is? If don't nobody agree with their doctrine or share their stuff or talk about what they talk about, they get mad. See, you want the praise of men. If it was for God, you put the work out and say, let Yahuwah be esteemed. He that receive it, let him receive it. He that reject it, let him reject it. Or as the Lord told you, he that have an ear, let him hear. And let that be what it is. You done put it in the atmosphere, let Yahuwah do the rest. But that's not your job, man. What you mad for? This ain't even your word. You ain't got no power to save nobody. You ain't got no power to condemn nobody. You can't give nobody no Ruach HaKodesh. You can't make nobody believe. You can't make nobody obey. You can't make nobody disobey. Man, you can't make nobody do nothing. Man, how many times I told you, man, I ain't used to, when I used to drop word on Facebook, man, that wasn't for to gather nobody, man. That was just for general principle. That maybe it sparked one person's brain. Man, ain't no group of people came and say, well, I seen what you posted. I wanted it. You stupid if you believe that. Because you know who that's for? That's for people who already believe. That's who that's for. When you put word out there, man, that's for people who already believe. Because most people who don't believe are not coming because you posted something on the internet. And anybody with a brain already know that. You know what I'm talking about? That's for access to the circle of people that they fool with so they can access it. That's if you got sense. You know what I'm saying? The recruiting tool is to live the word along with preaching the word. But don't nobody want to do that because the internet makes it more easier because you can be lazy. You know what I'm saying? You don't actually have to go deal with people. You don't actually have to learn how to interact with people. You don't actually have to learn how to move with finesse and skill in communicating with people. You don't have to bear people's problems. You don't have to listen to what they got going on. You ain't got to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do none of that. It is always better, if possible, to be able to, number one, if anybody teaching you the word, if you learn the word from anybody, you should be able to interact with them directly, man. That means that you should be able to call them. And the reality is, if you desire that, you should be able to pull up on them and smell their cologne. You know what I'm saying? Like straight them down. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? People, and that's tough right there. He said you reach out to by in a message and people barely check that. Like, come on, man. Well, how you administer the word, people holler at you and you don't respond to them. That is super wild. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I ain't saying somebody got to respond to you within 30 seconds, but you hit somebody up, man, okay, you called, they didn't answer, you don't call them back.
That's one reason why I tell you, if you text me, that's why I try to text back real quick. Because if I get to doing something, I will forget. You know what I'm talking about? Especially if I'm working, because I be locked in. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to get that junk done so I can go. You understand me? Like, I'm trying to go. Especially when it's hot outside. You know what I'm saying? And we was in the house with no windows because the city came and boarded them up. Ain't no air down. Boy, I'm trying to get up out of there, boy. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I'm not grabbing for my phone. I'm not reaching for my phone. I don't want to hear nothing. But boy, we finna dope. Hey, boy, we finna slide, boy. Jimmy, let's go. We out of here. You know what I'm saying? Boy, it's too hot out here for that, man. Indeed, they did. Indeed, they did. No, yes, sir. Well, come on in. You brush your teeth? Yeah. Come on. I love my teeth too. You did too? You happy about that, huh? Go ahead, man. Where we at with it?
You go to John 12.
Yep. We back to what? Isaiah 30. Mm-hmm.
Verse 18.
He done been out there with me before. He out there farming now. He in the middle of the heat. But he done been out there with me before. He definitely been in with me in one of the worst houses I ever been in. And said was with me in the second worst house I ever. I ain't gonna lie, boy, that house in Fernandina might have been worse than that house in Callahan, boy, because that house in Fernandina made me physically sick. It made me physically sick to the point that I ain't even want to finish it. I was like, man, you can pay me what you owe me from that there, man, and I'm good. You know what we ended up doing with that mobile home in Fernandina?
Okay, that was that.
He tore it down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you came out there too.
Yeah.
That one that was worse than Callahan, boy.
Yeah, that was the one. You like, man, he might as well just tear it down. I don't even know why.
Yeah, he did tear that down, and he ended up tearing it down. That junk actually literally made me physically sick. Have I ever denied a house? No. Nasty house is just part of the business. You know what I'm saying? But that house in Fernandina was bad, boy, and they were living in it too. You know what I'm saying? Like that house in Callahan was bad. You know what I'm saying? They eventually went to living outside. So that means they were living in there too. But that house in Fernandina was terrible. They were living in there with churn. You know what I'm saying? So they passed orders, baby. This is pure unadulterated squalor. You know what I'm saying? See, we've been in hoarder houses, but they weren't disgusting. I think like that old lady house on the west side where them air fryer was at. Yeah, that was a hoarder house, but she wasn't disgusting.
Yeah, that was the one she had dementia.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She had dementia, so that junk was different. She just buying stuff. She got 7 air fryers. She don't know she got 7 air fryers. You know what I'm saying?
Over there on QVC.
On QVC buying everything. You know what I'm talking about? But man, look here, man. Boy, we done been in some houses, boy. Squalor. Like, nigga, how you living in this, man? You got kids in here? You should be in jail. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that. Like, you should be in jail, bro. And I don't know how anybody in this neighborhood knew y'all were living like that with each children in here, and ain't nobody called them people on you. But we done been in the house, boy, we went to a house and on Avenue B. Man, this man got mad because I taxed him it would have been maybe a stike. I said, boy, you got to pay me too. He said, man, that's high. I said, boy, it's human excrement in this hole, boy. Boy, they got diapers all on the floor, boy, with feces in it. Nigga, what you got going on? Man, what you think this is, nigga? You're not going to pay me no $800 to touch human waste? Nigga, is you dumb? Okay, yeah, there's boo-boo on the wall. And they were living in here. They were living in there, man, with their kids, man. These black folks, too. I got a house to do now, man. Terrible. They were living in there, man, with churn. They were living in there, man. They were living in there. You know what I'm saying? Man, look here, man. Gonzo told me one house we did, he said that dude was living in there. Man, he said he had to throw away his clothes. He had to bring a change of clothes every time he went over there because he threw away the clothes he had on when he went. Because the man wouldn't do the deal unless he sat in the house with him. Man, we're living foul, man. Man, people be out here living foul, man. You know what I'm talking about? Man, look here. If I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. I'm gonna be honest with you, boy. I would want to say that maybe 60% of Americans living foul, boy. And it could be higher than that, man. Living foul. I'd have been in too many houses, man. You know what I'm saying? For a variety of different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, how the hell you living in here like that? Ain't nobody cleaning up. When I say nobody cleaning up, niggas eating food and throwing it on the floor. Niggas is eating food wrappers, soda cans. But man, you know how many beds we done moved, bro? And you be like, God damn, all this under the bed. Nothing but trash, though. I'm talking about Coke bottles, soda bottles. You know what I'm saying? Food wrappers.
That when they use them as piss jokes.
Lord have mercy. Don't even talk about the piss. Oh, Lord. Come on, man. Said make you, I'm telling you, man. Nigga be living in there like that, man. Shoot, that's how some of these niggas inward parts be. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know, like, I don't want to hear that junk. Yeah. So you see that? This Sunday, I went in somehow, man. Something bit the hell out of me, man. Look at all this junk, man. I had that junk on my leg for a long time. Be going to them house, man. The crack got fleas. Then the people want to get mad. Yeah, I'm finna tax you if these people had dogs and cats in here, man. Nigga, all these fleas in here, man. You got to pay me for that.
You want me to remove the carpet?
Yeah, they didn't want me to pull the carpet up. I know fooling with some of the houses with that drywall. I probably done shaved by 5 years off my life. Oh no, it's not. It don't be no biohazards. It's just nasty. And depending on the house, man, you had that suit, nigga, you gonna die in that hole.
No air.
You know, you gonna die in that hole. Cut the air on you. That's gonna be in work. But now I'm talking about that drywall. That just be demo, man. Depending on how old that drywall is, man, that dust flying everywhere, man. Nigga trying to get me to demo some drywall plaster. Nah, I'm finna buck him. I ain't doing it. I don't like fooling with that. Go ahead, man. That junk like concrete. I don't like fooling with it.
Therefore will Yahuwah wait that he may be gracious unto you. Mm-hmm. Therefore will he be exalted that he may have mercy upon you. Mm-hmm. For Yahuwah is Elohim of judgment.
That's right.
Baruch to all that wait for him.
Baruch to all those that what?
Wait for him.
No, that's say I saved myself.
That wait for him.
No, I saved myself.
That wait for him.
Go ahead.
For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. You shall weep no more. He will be very gracious unto you at the voice of your cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer you. And Yahuwah shall give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction.
That's what he gave the Lord, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Yet shall not your teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but your eyes shall see your teachers. And your ears shall hear a word behind you saying,
this is the what?
This is the way.
Go what?
Walk you in it.
What else?
When you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left.
That's that ruach. Go ahead.
You shall defile also the covering of the graven images of silver and the ornament of molten images.
But that's good. You see, I say you'll see your teachers. It'll direct you in the way that you ought to go. Back to Proverbs 6:20. And this is a part of betrothing you in faithfulness. All this is coming from the faithfulness of one man being willing to die. Bro asked me about this earlier, right? But people be like, oh, the Yahushua was born, Jesus was born with the Spirit, so that's why he didn't sin. Nigga, no. Let me ask y'all this question. What do y'all think this means if an individual is born with the Spirit? What do you think that entails? And this is a serious question. I'm going to grab me a beverage. Y'all tell me what that entails. Hey, your mama ain't get me no punch pop. Raggedy nigga. Raggedy nigga. I said it. That's right. I said it. And I meant it. He said, I bite my tongue for no one. They call me evil. I'm unbelievable. You know about that, boy? You don't know that Biggie, boy? I'm unbelievable, man. Biggie Smalls is the illest.
But he's all I probably don't heard of his. I definitely wasn't paying attention.
Oh, that was the best one. That's one Ready to Die. So in today's age, I think a prophet or something in the realm of being set apart, chosen from the womb, endowed with a specific task, separated for the birth, for the particular struggle of Yahusha. I'm cool with all of those. But delve a little bit deeper. If you're born with the Ruach, what does that entail? Because yes, it can't, I mean, there's only two people. If Yahusha was conceived by the Ruach, common sense tell you he was born with it. See, some people say he wasn't born with it because it don't say that, because you stupid. On purpose. Because everybody wants stuff to be explicit. If she conceived by the Ruach HaKodesh, that means the thing that's in her is by the Ruach HaKodesh. It doesn't necessarily represent divinity per se. Now, of course, yes, it deals with him being separated for a particular duty and endowed with a specific task. It also shows that they're chosen from the womb. It's only two people in the text. You see born with that. You know what I'm saying? That's John and Yahusha. Now, you see Samson sanctified in the womb. And you see Jeremiah sanctified in the womb. And you see Samuel sanctified in the womb. But it's one key component of either being born with the Ruach or having it. We talked about it Wednesday. What is that key component? And I'm going to read you something to let you know that the Lord, well, you can be sent and not be born with the Ruach. But if you're born with the Ruach, yeah, you would obviously have to be sent. And I'm going to read you something to let you know that the boy was born with it. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Luke 2:41. Now, because as it's here, and you hear people say this here, that's why they say, oh, that's why he didn't sin. Being born with a spirit is not, you can have a spirit and there's still the opportunity to go contrary. You know what I'm talking about? I will allow that also. But that's not the key component that we need. Come on to Luke 2:41. Because if you're born with it, you're definitely written in heaven, and you're definitely a son of God. You know what I'm saying?
Say now, his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. When they had fulfilled the days as they returned, the child Yahusha tarried behind in Jerusalem. And Joseph and his mother knew not. But they supposing him to have been in the company on a day's journey. And they sought him among kinsfolk and acquaintance. When they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem seeking him. Mm-hmm. And it came to pass after 3 days, they found him in the temple.
Found him what?
In the temple.
What he was doing?
Sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions.
And all that what?
Heard him were astonished at his understanding.
They were astonished at his what?
At his understanding and answers.
They were astonished at his what?
His understanding and answers.
So when you born with the Ruach, you born with the word. When the Ruach is in you, the word is in you. You understand? That means you will have an actual understanding of the word. You know what I'm saying? The word is in you. It's not even about the dying or living forever part. It's the aspect of the word is in you. Because how could a 12-year-old boy sit in the midst of men who are skilled in the law and ask them questions, and they ask him questions, and they're astonished at his ability to understand God's word and answer them? You know what I'm talking about? This is how you know this man was born with that. There's no 12-year-old child that has that type of ability. See, come on back to Luke chapter 1. Now, when the word is in you, remember it said, when you sleep, it will keep you. When you walk, it will lead you. When you awake, it will speak to you. The same thing what I told you Wednesday, man. The word, like it says in John, that he'll bring to remembrance what he said to you. But you to obey what's said to you is still with you. Nevertheless, if you feel with the Ruach HaKodesh, you already believe, love, trust, and fear Elohim in the first place. So you're going to yield. Because you're doing what? Serving him with a ready heart and a willing mind. So you're going to yield to the word. That's how the word keep you. See, these dudes think, oh, you got the spirit, you still going. They thinking about before the Lord. Saul had the spirit and still sinned. Guess what? That word was still with him. But his faith with God was not there to the point where he was going to obey it. Because he had the spirit. It told you, it turned him into another man, gave another heart. Nevertheless, and it's not like he did sins like eating pork or this, that, and the third. He disobeyed God because he didn't trust and believe and what he said because he was covetous. He coveted what the Amalekites had. That's why he say covetous is as idolatry. Remember, he took the best of the stuff. He coveted what they had. His lack of trust in God for waiting on Samuel and moving that's not what the man told you to do. You see how that's an example? I'm going to save myself. No, you were supposed to wait for Samuel, cuz. These niggas teaching you to be Saul. You know what I'm talking about? You got to pay attention to that. Samuel told him he was supposed to wait till Samuel came. Oh, no, I'm going to do it myself. He taking too long. Yeah, man, that ain't good. That ain't good. But yeah, it's just the wording. Notice when he said, how will the scriptures be fulfilled? Notice how he kept telling them that. You know what I'm saying? He had a complete understanding of the word. See, most people look at when the Ruach fell on him when he got baptized. That's for him to be anointed to operate in the priest's office. Totally different conversation. Because until he was 30 years old, he was not operating in his chosen profession. You know what he was doing? Going to work with his daddy. He was going to work with Joseph, doing carpentry work, doing stuff that 20-year-old, 23-year-old, 25-year-old, 28-year-old, 29-year-old Hebrew men did. That's what he was doing till it was time. People don't understand that. That man wasn't just out here doing random miracles, preaching no word. He was doing what everybody else was doing, living their life, obeying his God, serving his God, and being an example of righteousness. That's it. It's not difficult to understand. I know some people would like to know, well, what was he doing? I don't care what he was doing. You know why I don't care what he was doing? Because it's not pertinent to my salvation, so I'm not concerned. I don't care what he did when he was 19. I don't. Hell, I don't care what you did when you was 19. Hell, I don't even remember what I did when I was 19. I barely remember what I did last week. And I ain't being funny about that. 1999 is a blur. I remember a few things here and there. I don't remember a lot. You know what I'm talking about? You understand how long ago that was? It has to be a standout thing. You talking about day to day? Man, I don't remember no day to day, no junk, no 26 years ago, man. Luke chapter 1, verse 26.
And in the 6th month, the Malachim Gabriel was sent from Elohim unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And the Malachim came unto her and said, Hail, you are highly favored. The Lord is with you. Baruch are you among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast it in her mind what manner of salutation.
What this man talking about?
The Malachim said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for you have found favor with Elohim.
Mercy with God. He's accepted you.
You shall conceive in your womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahushua.
And
he shall be great,
and shall be called
the Son of the Highest.
And Yahuwah Elohim
shall give unto the throne of his father, shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
He shall reign
over the house of Jacob forever, and of his Malkuth there shall be no end.
Then said Mary unto the Malachim, How
shall this be, seeing I know not a man?
And the Malachim answered and said unto her,
The Ruach HaKodesh shall come upon you.
What's going to come upon her?
The Ruach HaKodesh shall come upon you.
What else?
And the power of the highest shall overshadow you. Therefore also that Kodesh thing which shall be born of you shall be called the son of Elohim.
Go ahead.
And behold, your cousin Elizabeth, she have also conceived a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month with her who is called barren.
For with Elohim,
nothing shall be impossible.
Now, why would this man say nothing impossible for a woman who was barren and a woman who ain't said, I ain't never been with a man, for them to get both of them pregnant? Because Joseph had sex with her. Why would he even make that statement? Like some stuff you have to just use common sense. But you know why people don't want to accept that? Because, that's Catholic doctrine. We've already talked about this before. The teaching of the Immaculate Conception has nothing to do with how Jesus was conceived. how Yahushua was conceived, how the son of Elohim was conceived. Has nothing to do with it. Nothing. It's all about Mary being sinless for her entire life. But people don't know that. So they think that that's what that doctrine is based off of. Why? Because of the multitude of people spreading that erroneous piece of information. But if you look in Catholicism, that is not what the Immaculate Conception is about. Then they say, the virgin birth, it just means young woman. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? That was a miraculous sign. But see, they don't believe, so that's why they don't catch it. That's why they don't catch it. They be like, well, why didn't the apostles talk about it? Who says they didn't? Because you don't see it written down, you thought they didn't? That's why we always tell you, when he told you, and I showed them out of the law of Moses and the Psalms and the prophets, the things concerning himself, it never says what he taught them, showed them, or broke down to them, nor does it go into great detail when the apostles sat down with people and did it. It don't go in great detail what Philip showed that eunuch. It don't go in great detail what Paul was showing the people in that higher house. It don't go through all that. It don't go through that when Peter them did it. So people don't even know what these people actually taught. Because again, that testimony is God-given. That's not something that's going to be laid out that you could just piece it together in the New Testament. Oh, here's the witness. Oh, no, that's precious. That's not given randomly to any and everybody. That's reserved for choice men, faithful men, because a steward must be found faithful. That man ain't getting that to any and everybody. You understand how valuable that is, man? That's why he tell you not to cast that before swine. That's why he tell you don't give that to dogs. Because you have to understand how valuable that is which you possess. The problem is you live in a society that has taught you that things are not valuable, so you are readily able and willing to give them away. No one told you that your loins were valuable, so you gave your loins to any man who blinked at you. Nobody told you your seed was valuable, so you laid down with any woman who would let you and gave her the most valuable thing that you possess, which is your seed. But you were caught up because you wanted to feel good, because you didn't understand the value of what it is that you had and that you shouldn't be giving that to random scallywags. You didn't realize the value of your womb. You shouldn't be giving it to dusty, dirty, swole head niggas. But you wanted to feel good. So when you come across things of value, you don't appreciate them because no one ever taught you the understanding of precious and valuable things are not just given randomly to anybody who asks for it. For anybody who looks in your direction. No, man. If everybody, I'll give you an example. Because I used to do this as a child. We collect baseball cards, basketball cards, football cards. Most sporting cards were worthless. You know why? Because they were mass produced. So they weren't valuable because anyone could get their hands on it. And then you have certain cards that they may have only produced 200 or 300, and those were the cards that were worth something because they were rare. The rarity, the scarcity of it is what makes it valuable, i.e., for lack of a better term, what you hear people arguing on the internet, that's why rich or wealthy men are so sought after, because they're rare. That's why you hear all these people on the internet talking about they want this, that, there, and the third, because the reality is those type of men are rare. It ain't that many of them. That's why you hear so many men saying they want a virgin, because it's rare. It's not that many of them anymore. See, when it was a whole bunch of them, it was a different type of looking at with that value. But now it's different because it's not that many of them. Now dudes just look at, I hope she ain't got no kids. Because they like, hey, every woman I come across, she got kids. You don't have to like it. It's the reality of life. You have to stop looking at things with your emotions and whether you like it or not, and just look at it simply for the reality of this is life. This is life. You know what I'm saying? It's just life. It is what it is. But we're not taught to value things. You know what I'm saying? Because you think things are indispensable and replaceable. Some things are extremely valuable, and you have to be very careful on who you give it to. Which is why I've always told y'all you should be having those conversations with your daughters for her to understand how valuable her body is. You should talk to your son so he can understand how valuable his seed is. You just can't give that to anybody. You can't just give that to anybody. Like, they really have to understand how valuable it is, not just platitudes and plain and simple statements. Like, it has to resonate in their brain that they understand, well, that's valuable. That's why he told you don't cast your pearls before swine. That's valuable, bro. If you holding the proverbs of life, why are you giving that to any and everybody? Why are you doing that? Nigga, they gonna disrespect you. They gonna step on you. My God, today. What are we going back to, Sid? Back to Proverbs 6 and 20, probably. Yeah, we got to understand that, man. That's not serious, bro. That word, well, that testimony of the Lord is valuable. Why is it valuable, Sid? John 6 and 63. This is why it's valuable.
It is the ruach that quickens, the flesh profit nothing. The words that I speak unto you are ruach and are life.
Go ahead.
But there are some of you that believe not. For Yahushua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should have betrayed him.
Go ahead.
And he said, therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me, except it were given unto him of my Abba.
Go ahead.
From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him.
What up?
Then said Yahushua unto the 12,
what do you
also go away?
What Peter said?
Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life.
Peter understood how valuable it was that he possessed. Those people who left, they didn't see the value. And notice what the Lord didn't do. He didn't chase them or beg them. He let them slide. And he just looked at them and said, y'all gonna dip too? I'm trying to see these conversations that people on the internet, he can't see my value. Man, shut your stupid behind up, man. Somebody don't see your value because you exist. That's not how value is displayed. And if you're stupid enough to tell somebody that somebody should just see your value because you exist, your parents failed you, man. You know what I'm saying? They failed you completely. Because that's not how value is shown. Now, you don't put on a performance to prove yourself to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just out of the simple fact of being performative. But value is shown. It's not told. It's not just explicitly watched if you're not doing nothing. Like, that's insane. What that is that's the entitlement of a loser. That's somebody who don't want to do nothing, who ain't going to do nothing. Don't have a desire to do nothing. And they hoping you stupid enough to fall for that. Because you know why? Because if anybody loves and like you enough, they willing to show their value because they want to be a part of what you got going on. You know what I'm talking about? People who don't want to exchange value are users because they want to extract from you without giving anything in return. They're going to drain you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and sometimes financially until you are depleted. And then they're going to move on to the next person and do it to them. But if there's a value exchange, that's an even swap, no swindle. You know what I'm talking about? Point being. Remember when Paul told them, if I give it unto you spiritual things, is it a small thing if I reap your carnal things? Because that's an exchange of value. He ain't telling these people, give me this because I'm here. He said, I am extending value to you. Is it wrong that you extend value back? That's an even swap, no swindle. You know what I'm talking about? And then you have to look at it like this here, right? Because you know people get upset when they say, well, what do you bring to the table? You ain't supposed to ask nobody what they bring to the table. You know what you're supposed to tell them? This the table I built, and this is what you got to do to sit at it. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't asking you what you bring a goddamn thing. This is what you need to, because guess what? Anywhere in life to sit at somebody's table, you got to be able to fit into what they need to be a part of what they got going on. There's nowhere in life where you could just be like, I am the table. I don't have, no, you're going to have to sit here. What do you add? We don't want no dead weight. Well, you want to sit at the Lord's table, well, you got to add value in some shape, form, or fashion. And value is usefulness. Why do we know this? Because he said you have some vessels of earth. Get it from me, man. 2 Timothy 2:19. You got to be of some use. Remember, value is usefulness. I have never seen a group of people in the last 5 to 10 years that have a desire to be utterly useless and think that somebody should want to be able to extend benefits to you for being useless. If you're useless, there's no, look at, man, value don't have to be some great thing, man. People can add value in a multitude of ways. It's the desire to want to be beneficial to someone else. And if that person is of any honor, they will reciprocate that. Now, this is the kicker. If the value you add is who you are, and that person don't reciprocate that, you don't alter who you are because they don't reciprocate that. You know what you do, Civic? You remove yourself from them. You know why? Because they're not worthy of the value that you bring. That's it. That's it. You know some value that some people give, man? As simple as it might be, just love. I'm talking about real love, man. I ain't talking about no emotional love. I ain't talking about no feeling. I'm talking about love, care, concern, compassion. You know what I'm talking about? An ear. Sometimes it's just company. You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm talking about genuine, real deal verb love, man. You know what I'm talking about? Not just, oh, it make me feel some type of way. That's adding value. Remember we read that other day, Wednesday, when he said, hey, he's giving me the tongue of the learned that I might speak a word to him that is weary in due season. That's adding value to somebody. Because this person was tired. They were exhausted. And you gave them a word that gave them strength. That's adding value to them. Value is not necessarily, I bought you this or I took you here. Man, just because somebody buy you something, man, he told you they give gifts to all whores. That ain't just for women now, you understand? Somebody buying you something and taking you somewhere ain't add no value to you, man. That's somebody who could be trying to buy you, boy. We talking about the other day, you hear all this stuff about Puffy hitting niggas in the butt because he was buying them. Come on over here and do this here and do this here and do this here. Now, next thing you know, you doing things that should not be mentioned. Go ahead, man.
Nevertheless, the foundation of Elohim stands sure.
The 2 Timothy 2:19.
Having this seal, the Lord know them that are his, and let everyone that name the name of Hamashiach depart from iniquity.
Listen.
But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor. If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified, and meet for the master's use.
I mean, if you can tell him what purge means, if you can remove the dishonor, the reproach, the sin, then you can be a vessel that this man can use. But if you don't do that, he can't use you. It means you remember with the fig tree? He came up on that fig tree, he was looking for fruit. It wasn't no fruit on that tree. He cursed it because it was useless. It was useless. You know what I'm talking about? What's the point of you being here if you can't give me no fruit? Because when I needed fruit, you ain't had none. So there's no reason to keep you around. That way, the other dude say, hold on, Lord, give us some time. He said, that's cool. He said, but if it don't produce none such and such time, cut him down. Because it's useless to me. Go ahead, man.
That's ekathareo, that is to cleanse thoroughly, to purge out.
To cleanse yourself. And how can a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed according to your word, that you might be washed by the water of the word. So you got to clean your inward man so he could use you. That's what people's problem is you think the same way that you ain't got to do nothing. And because you show up or you know you an Israelite or you don't eat pork or I keep the Sabbath, that means that he should use you. You haven't done what he told you to do, which was to cleanse yourself thoroughly. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all the other day, them ladies on the thread talking about grown men not wiping themselves and not cleaning themselves thoroughly. That's crazy to me. That man ain't meat for nobody's shoes. That boy booty itch. It's dirty. Grown men shouldn't be having no streaks in their drawers, man. That should have stopped when you was when you was in single digit ages. That should have stopped. How anybody gonna use that, man? So you got to understand that, man. If God himself, you have to add value, then guess what you're gonna have to do in your life? This ain't just with no man. This is with men, this is with women, this is with friends, this is in your business, this is at your job. Things that are valuable don't get cast to the side. Nobody gets rid of valuable things unless they're an idiot. And the reality is, it's a lot of idiots out here. You know what I'm talking about? So they cast away valuable things. You know why? Because they didn't understand the worth of what was in their face. But your value is not because you exist. You have to look at what benefit do you add to who, and who, to what, and what. You know what I'm saying? When you sit back, like I told you before, man, people be crying about the Christian church. They people do this and do that. Well, what value did you add to the church for you to be so mad? You didn't do nothing. Say, got the Hershey draws. Preaching the yeah, that's wild though. And I believe it too. I believe a lot of these boys be preaching the word. Boys ain't bathed, clothes dirty. And I ain't saying that to be funny, because I done seen dudes like, boy, that boy look dirty, boy. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that boy look like he stink. So some of them boys feel like you can't get fresh. And I ain't even talking about getting fresh, spending money on expensive clothes. Like, man, some of these boys feel like, man, you supposed to look like a homeless man. And that's wild. Where we at, man?
You go to 2 Timothy 2?
Yeah, that's it. I just wanted you to see that point of what he was saying. You have to cleanse yourself thoroughly. You say some dudes look like they haven't slept. Shoot, they might have had. It's on wild out here, bro. Y'all got all different types of people. But the point that I'm trying to make is, remember, you should always want to be used. Just don't let people misuse you. Once you see someone is misusing you, then you need to adjust the dynamic of your usefulness. I'm saying that because you should never alter who you are intrinsically because of the wickedness of another person. You know what I'm saying? You should always, because once you do that, not only did that wicked person win, but Satan won. Because that's all Satan wants you to do, is stop being who you are, especially if who you are is in a facilitation of righteousness. Case in point, when you look at Luke 8, when you see that those women minister to the Lord of their substance. See, some people will look, we've talked about it plenty of times, some people will look at that and think, oh, that don't mean nothing. That was a great value. That's great value what they added. You may not feel like it's great value because you want to quantify it by different things. But if this man is moving and shaking and they're serving him food so he can sustain himself, bro, that's great value to a man who working and who hungry. That's great value. That Shumanite woman showed great value to Elisha because she seen him coming through all the time. Let me fix a bed so the man can lay down and rest. That's great value. And I guarantee you, your Father in heaven looked down on it, and he will remember her name. These people will be remembered. That's why some of them have a name. They have a memorial. You know what I'm talking about? Meaning you know who they are because of the value that they added. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. Obadiah hiding the prophets by 50. But that's great value. You saving men's lives. See, that's the tough stuff people want, the great stuff. But they don't want to look at the other stuff. It's just as valuable. Them priests offering them sacrifices is just as valuable. That's why David said we're going to part of the same who stayed back with the stuff and the same who went, because everybody is valuable. They played their part. Your part's not greater than theirs because you felt like you did that there in the third. Okay, I might preach the word. My part ain't greater than yours. I'm playing my part. You know what I'm saying? That's my part to play. Your part to play may be something else. That's what he meant by no parts of the body is greater than the other. Everybody got a part to play. That's right, getting the same penny. Everybody got a part to play. Nobody's part is greater than the other. It's all for the facilitation to the service of the saints, to the esteem of your Father through Yahushua HaMashiach. That's it. Everybody got a part to play. Some people might have a greater role, which means they have a greater responsibility. You know what I'm talking about? They got a bigger burden to carry. But that means if they're carrying it, the Lord has already determined they fit to carry it. Because if they weren't, he wouldn't have gave it to them. See, humans give people jobs that they know they can't do. The Lord not going to give you a job he know you can't do. Why? Because it's not going to allow for the facilitation of his will. So why would he do that? Because you know what he's about? Being successful and what he sent his word to do. Come on.
Proverbs 6:20.
Go ahead.
Say, my son, keep your father's commandments, forsake not the law of your mother.
That's right.
Bind them continually upon your heart, tie them about your neck.
Mm-hmm.
When you go, it shall lead you. When you sleep, it shall keep you. And when you awake, it shall talk with you.
It's going to talk with you, baby.
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction, the way of life.
So it's going to give you life. That's good. Now, of course, we already mentioned the awake part. He's going to call out to you. Let me see if another one in Proverbs we can use. Name. I want you to go to Proverbs chapter 7. I want you to go to verse 20. Go ahead.
He hath taken a bag of money with him, and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech, she calls him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. He go after her straightway, as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks.
What else?
Till a dart strike through his liver, and as a bird hastes to the snare, and know not that is for his life.
Go ahead.
Hearken unto me now, therefore, you children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not your heart decline to her ways, go not astray in her paths. For she hath cast down many wounded, yea, many strong have been slain by her.
Now, he's talking about a natural woman, and of course, it's referring to Judas in another aspect. But then you also look at it from the aspect of dealing with that whore of Babylon. You understand? Of not getting caught up with a woman who was subtle of heart, who was seeking to allure you through the lust of the flesh for your own destruction. You understand what I'm saying to you, man? Like, this individual is coming, trying to take you down. So you got to make sure that word is laid up in your heart. Because there's many temptations going to come your way in a multitude of different ways. That's why Peter told you, don't think it's some strange to you or that fiery trial of your faith, because it's for your perfection. No, we talk about that. It's for your purging. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be up on that. That's why that word, that's how when you receive the Ruach HaKodesh, that's how it keep you. It guards you. Because as there was referenced earlier, that comforter going to bring to remembrance everything he said to you. But the only way that can happen is because you laying the word up in your heart. I'm not talking about memorizing. Memorizing don't mean it's in your heart. Everybody should say, oh, I know that number by heart. I mean, it's in you. It's inward. It's a part of you. It's second nature. You understand? See, you can memorize something, but it's not in you. We're not talking about the ability to regurgitate information. We're talking about the ability where that information is your internal software that directs your paths, that guides your steps, that warns when danger comes, that gives you wisdom to know when to move, give you insight to know what to do and what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole totality of a play. So come on back to read me verse 19 of Hosea chapter 2.
And I'll betroth you unto me forever. Yea, I'll betroth you unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercies. I will even betroth you unto me in faithfulness, and you shall know Yahuwah.
Now, we have loosely began to reference mercies and judgment, righteousness and judgment. Really, we've hit all five. But I definitely do want for this particular endeavor to isolate. So for those who don't know, tell them what righteousness means.
Sadat.
And
that is a right, moral or legal, justice, even, righteousness.
Go ahead.
And in judgment and loving kindness and in mercies.
No, you just be reading 3 definitions and stop.
That's kind of I've been using the East for.
Oh, don't worry about that. So tell me what 2 Corinthians 11 say. Go ahead.
What to Elohim you could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me.
Go ahead.
For I'm jealous over you with godly jealousy, why I have espoused you to one husband,
even
that I may present you a chaste virgin to a Mashiach.
What else?
But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety,
What up?
So your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Mashiach.
What up?
For if he that come preach another Yahushua, whom we have not preached, or if you receive another Ruach which you have not received,
You might.
or another gospel which you have not accepted, you might well bear with.
What up?
For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostles. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge. But we have,
Pause. Y'all know what rude in speech means? Y'all remember what that means? Tell them what rude means.
idiotes, ignorant, rude, unlearned.
That don't mean you talk to people crazy. He said, though I may be unlearned in speech, what he say? But not in knowledge. Read it again. I'm sorry.
But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
He said, I might be unlearned when I talk, but not in the knowledge of God, though.
But we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things.
Paul, you understand what he just said to them people? He said, I might be unlearned when I'm talking. He said, but I know the word, though. How about that? You know what I'm talking about? So why is that important? Because he was drawn from the milk and weaned from the breast. He understand doctrine and he taught him knowledge, aka the good tidings. That's why he could say that. So when you get in betrothed in righteousness, you get in betrothed in good tidings. Psalms 17 and 12. Don Juan, why are you still up? Don Juan. Don.
So like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places, arise, O Yahuwah, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is your sword.
That's right.
From men which are your hand, O Yahuwah, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly you fill with your hid treasures. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes.
Go ahead.
As for me, I will behold your face in righteousness.
I will behold your face in what?
In righteousness.
Didn't he say, man, that same word would if you bind it on your heart, it'll speak to you when you awake. Go ahead.
I shall be satisfied when I awake with your likeness.
Oh, when I awake with what?
With your likeness.
When I awake with what?
Your likeness.
Psalm 16 and 9. Shoot, you can make it 5. My God, today. I'm finna get y'all off here, man.
Yahuwah, the portion of my inheritance and of my cup, you manifest my lot. Your lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places, yea, I have a goodly heritage. Al Baruch Yahuwah, who have given me counsel, my reins also instruct me in the night seasons. I have set Yahuwah always before me.
At my
right hand, I shall not be moved.
Why?
Therefore my heart is glad, my esteem rejoice, my flesh also shall rest in hope.
And rest in what?
In hope.
That you will not
leave my soul in hell.
That you will not
leave my soul in hell. Neither will you suffer your Kadash one to see corruption.
Why?
You will show me the path of life, in your presence, fullness of joy, at your right hand, pleasures forevermore. Now
notice that from those two things is referencing the resurrection of the dead. Now he told you that he would betroth you to him in righteousness. Now let's take a look at John 16 and 7 on general principle. Y'all know what it says.
Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you.
He won't come.
But if I depart, I will send him unto you.
What happened after that?
And when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. Of sin because they believe not on me.
Of judgment.
Of righteousness because I go to my Abba and you see me no more.
Righteousness because I go where?
To my Abba and you see me no more.
Can anybody tell me why that's righteousness? That he go to his Abba and you'll see me no more. How is that righteousness? How does that work? What's causing all this? Give me John 14:26 real quick, man.
But the Comforter, the Ruach HaKodesh.
Yes, ma'am. That's a part of it.
Whom the Abba will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance whatsoever I have said unto you.
Go ahead.
Shalom I leave with you, my shalom I give unto you. Not as the world give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid.
Listen.
You have heard how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If you love me, you would rejoice, because I said I go unto the Abba, for my Abba is greater than I. And now I have told you before it come to pass,
that when it come to pass,
you might believe
that I am he.
Hereafter, I will not talk much with you.
Now you see that there, how you say righteousness because I go to my Abba, because he said, I told you what happened before it happened, that you might believe. And he believed on Yahuwah and he counted to him for righteousness. The key component of righteousness, of being betrothed in righteousness, is that he's telling you what's going to happen before it happened and you believed it. You know what I'm talking about? Go read Genesis 15:6 and give him believe from that standpoint, if you will, sir. Remember how Paul put it, that Abraham trusted him who speak those things that are not as if they are. You know what I'm talking about? That which you can't see, he speak it like it's right there in your face. You know what I'm talking about? Same way where Paul was like, as it's spoken to me, therefore that's how I believed it. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, man.
Said he believed in Yahuwah and he counted it to him for righteousness.
Now tell him what believed is, man.
That's all mine. To support, confirm, to be faithful, to be established, to be faithful, to be carried, to make firm, to stand firm, to trust, to believe in.
He trusted him, he believed him, and he believed that he would confirm the word of which he spoke. Now, a lot of people, that is not the case. That is not the case. Hold on one second. Because a lot of people don't believe what the man say. They don't believe he's going to do what he said he's going to do. And that's okay. You got to be cool with that. I'm trying to remember where that doggone verse at. We're going to go over there where Paul was on that boat. That's what we need when he was on that boat. There it is, right there. When found him right on the head. Pick him up at Acts 27:18. And after that, Mark chapter 9, I believe. Acts 27:18.
And we, being exceeding tossed with the tempest, the next day they lightened the ship. And the third, we cast out with our own hands the tackling of the ship. And when neither sun nor stars in many days appeared, and no small tempest lay on us, all hope that we should be saved was then taken away. But after long abstinence, Paul stood forth in the midst of them and said, Sirs, you should have hearkened unto me, and not have loosed from Crete, and to have gained this harm and loss. And now I exhort you to be of good cheer, for there should be no loss of any life among you, but of the ship.
For there
stood by me this night the Malachim of Elohim,
whose I am,
and whom I serve,
saying,
Fear not, Paul, for you must be brought before Caesar, and lo, Elohim have given you all them that sail with you.
Wherefore?
Sirs, be of good cheer.
For I believe Elohim.
That it shall be even as it was told me.
I believe Elohim.
Therefore, and that it shall be even as it was told
He
me.
say he believe it even as it was told to him, and that's what he's going to do. This is a part of being betrothed in righteousness. If this man tell you something, you believe that it is going to be as he told it to you. Now, some people have never had that experience of him ministering something to your spirit before it happened, and that you believe that it would happen. And when it happened, you knew that it was him. That's something that no other God can do or has done or shown proof of, which is telling you what is going to happen before it happens, so that when it come to pass, you know surely that Yahuwah is the living Elohim. Let his name be esteemed. Come over here to Mark chapter 9, though. Mark chapter 9, man. You can pick it up at verse 14 on general principle. And that's a part of him being a presentable sacrifice, because he believed, as we read in Psalm 16 and 17, that he would raise him from the dead. You know what I'm talking about? Because if he don't believe that, he doesn't get on that pole. He don't be that beacon on that hill. You know what I'm saying? Which is why a lot of brothers have not taken up their stake daily and followed him, because they don't believe that when they walk, it will lead them. When they sleep, it will keep them. And when they awake, it will shout to them. They don't believe that. Mark 9:14.
And when he came to his disciples, he saw a great multitude about them, and the scribes questioning with them. And straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were greatly amazed, and running to him, saluted him.
And he asked the scribes,
"What question you with them?" And one of this multitude answered and said, "Master, I have brought unto you my son,
which have a what?
A dumb ruach.
And whatsoever he take him,
he tear him,
and he foam,
and gnash with his teeth,
and pine away.
And I spake to your disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not."
I'd like for you to tell them what pine away is. You could even tell them what foam means. And again, this is confirmation that an unclean spirit will torment you. It won't make you sin, as people like to convince you. No, it's going to torment you. You should have learned that with Saul. Go ahead.
Foam is aphrizo, to foam, to froth at the mouth. Epilepsy.
So for all intents and purposes, an unclean spirit could give somebody epilepsy. This does not mean someone with epilepsy has an unclean spirit like a lot of people like to say. Just because someone has epilepsy doesn't mean they have an unclean spirit. But epilepsy is a sign, clearly, of an unclean spirit. Continue.
And then pine. That's a ray, that is to make dry, to wither, to become dry, to be withered.
That doesn't make you waste away. I mean, you start losing weight, you start to look sick.
To shrivel, to mature, to dry out.
Yeah, you ain't eating. He's starving you out. He's trying to kill you. Go ahead, man.
And I spake to the disciples.
Verse 19, Mark chapter 9. And he answered,
and saith, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me.
When they brought him unto him.
And when he saw him, straightway the ruach tear him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming.
Tell him what tear mean, man, just on the hop.
So razzle, to convulse, to tear, to convulse with epilepsy, to rend.
So this instance, it's having a seizure, for lack of a better term. You know what I'm talking about? Continue. Verse 21, Mark chapter 9.
And he asked of his father, how long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, of a child.
That's tough.
And oft times that I've cast him into the fire and
into
the waters to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us.
And Yahushua said unto him,
if you can believe, all things are possible to him that believes.
If you can what?
If you can believe.
If you can what?
Believe.
All things
are possible to
all
him.
Things
are possible.
All things
are possible to him that believes.
Tell him what possible means. Everything is possible to him that believes.
Dunatos, that's able, powerful, mighty, strong, to be able to do something, mighty, excelling in something, having power for something.
That means God got the power to do anything if you believe. That's what he's telling you. And that's what he means when he's talking about betrothing to you in righteousness. Because the Son believed that he would raise him from the dead, and he did it. That's why he said, I'm the resurrection and the life. Whosoever live and believe in me shall never taste death. And what was his question? Believe you this? That's a part of being betrothed in righteousness. This man say he has the strength and power to do anything for people that believe. Read it again. Mark 9:23.
Yahushua said unto him, if you can believe.
If you can what?
If you can believe, all things are possible to him that believes.
All things are possible to him that believes. And that's something that you have to remember. See, and it's not we have to shake our mind from, and this is not a negative to anybody per se. The stuff that they taught you in church that you should believe to receive things that directly benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Now, in this instance, this was compassion being shown to someone who an unclean spirit was trying to kill. The same way that people had to believe. Like he said, man, let it be done according to your faith. So the things that you ask of God will be done according to the measure of faith that you have. The smaller the faith, the lesser he'll do. The greater the faith, the more he'll do, depending on the situation and circumstance. And if it be according to his will. Because remember, he'll answer all prayers that are according to his will. Ain't that what he said? Come over here to 1 John so they can see what that's at. I want to say it's in chapter 3. Let me make sure. Actually, it might be chapter 4. Oh, 1 John chapter 5. You can read verse 9. 1 John 5 and 9.
If we receive the witness of men, the witness of Elohim is greater.
That's right.
For this is the witness of Elohim, which he hath testified of his Son.
That's what else.
He that believe on the Son of Elohim hath the witness in himself.
That's right.
He that believed not Elohim hath made him a liar, because he believed not the record that Elohim gave of his Son.
That's unfortunate.
And this is the record that Elohim hath given to us, eternal life. And this life is in his Son. He that hath the Son have life, and he that hath not the Son of Elohim have not life.
What else?
These things have I written unto you, that you believe on the name of the Son of Elohim.
What else?
That you may know that you have eternal life, and that you may believe on the name of the Son of Elohim. This is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will.
According to his what?
According to his will.
According to his what?
According to his will. He hear us.
He
hear us.
So that's all you got to remember. If it's according to his will, he's able, willing, and powerful enough to do it if you believe. You know what I'm saying? If you believe. That's what that verse means. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. It's not how people like to put it. It's you asking of God of something, but you're wavering between faith and doubt. You know what I'm saying? That means you unstable, and he's not going to do nothing for you. Because it's going to be, let it be done according to your faith. So if you're doubting, then he's not going to do it. Because you don't believe that he could do it anyway, so why would he? See, this is almost to the line that most people don't experience in the natural sense. You ask somebody to do something and you constantly telling them that you don't think they're going to do it or when you're going to do it. Guess what they do? Man, I ain't doing that jump for him. You know what I'm saying? They trying me like that. I told you I was going to do it. But you want me to do it on your timeline. Now, depending on what it is, some things are for expedient matter, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about? He's just not going to do it because you don't believe that he's going to do it. So why would he? I told you this plenty of time before, man. A lot of people are like, man, why God don't talk to people? Because you niggas ain't going to listen. Why would you tell somebody to do something who you already know ain't going to do it? I'm telling you. And I done seen this firsthand from somebody who's not in the word no more for reasons known to them. You know, they may have expressed them out loud. Doesn't really matter. But I've been being with them. And they were like, they heard in their spirit, like, hey, grab this jacket right here. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't do it. And what they needed happened to be in the jacket that they heard to grab. So then I had a conversation with them and somebody else. And both of them told me, yeah, man, I be hearing stuff, tell me to do stuff all the time. I don't never listen, though. I said, that's wild. I said, you think a random instruction is coming into your spirit from nowhere, and you say you serve the living God, and you ain't never pause and think maybe the spirit of God is ministering to you right now? Now ask yourself this question. If the spirit of the living God was ministering unto you and gave you an instruction to do something, and the thing is people think the instruction to do something is going to be great. Some stuff just be simple, just to see if you going to do it. You know what I'm talking about? And then you repeatedly don't do it. Guess what you just showed him? You're not faithful. So guess what he going to do? Not fool with you. Would you repeatedly fool with somebody who never did what you said and asked them to do? Who keep people around who never do what you ask? You know what that goes back into? You're useless. You're useless. Man, let me tell you something, man. Man, when we lived in Sunday, man, boy, I could used to hear all the time, man, just go walk. Man, I ain't never asked no question. I just went. And you know what usually happened? Ran across somebody who was looking for this work. I ain't know them people. You know what I'm saying? I can remember one time I was at Big D house. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting outside reading the Apocrypha. Who was my witness before and whom I stand, boy. I can remember here's a dude standing in front of me. I can remember hearing in my spirit, clear as day, warning. Boy, I hit him with that work right then and there on the spot. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking about saying nothing to this dude. I ain't know this nigga. You know what I'm talking about? That wasn't the point. You know what I'm saying? That's right, Rohan. That's how the Ruach work. One who can't handle little, you're not going to handle greater. And people don't realize that. That's when he give you over to another mind because he already know, well, you don't fool with me. You know what I'm saying? You don't fool with me like that. Because like he said, man, he said he that's faithful in little was faithful in much. You know what I'm saying? So if you reckless with little, he ain't finna entrust you with nothing, man. Because you couldn't even deal with that. You couldn't even follow that. I done told you plenty of time before, man. I told y'all this before. When I first got the word and I read that with Samuel, when Samuel heard this man calling his name, and he went and answered to Eli like, man, I ain't call you. Man, you know how many times as a child, man, nigga heard their name called, man. Nigga like, mama, you called me? No. And I told you before, you know what both black people tell you? That's the devil calling you. Why would the devil be calling you? Whole time Yahuwah calling you and you ain't answering. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I remember I told them, boy, when I first got in the word, I said, y'all ain't got all the Israelite name, and he gonna call you Jerome, and you ain't gonna answer. Because you looking for Mashalabah. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't your name, boy. That man don't know you gave yourself that name. That man don't know you by that. That man don't know you by that. You know what I'm talking about? That man ain't give you that name. He said, my blood is for this covenant to put. Yeah, man. He said, hearken unto me, and I'll make my words known unto you. That's what he told you in Proverbs. So you got to pay attention to that, man. That man's spirit still be moving. He still be ministering to people. People don't just quiet their spirit so they can hear. And you so caught up on doing what you want to do that you'll never hear his voice when he's trying to direct you to do something else, because what he directed you to do ain't congruent with what you want to do. And you trying to fit what you want to do to be what he wants you to do. And it's never going to work. And he's just going to give you over to a reprobate mind, and you're going to do the things that are not convenient. Because you have to get your mind in. It's not about what you want to do. It's about what he wants you to do to bring honor and esteem to his name, his son, and his kingdom. That's how your mind have to operate. It ain't about you. Because the minute you got in that water, you said you were living for him. But the same thing we read in Exodus 24, everything in this book we said we going to do. I'm joined in the covenant with you. So I'm moving at your direction and your lead, not mine. That's why he told you, what profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? That's not being betrothed to him in righteousness. Being betrothed to him in righteousness is giving yourself wholly over to him. Just like what he told you in Deuteronomy. Love you with the whole mind, heart, soul, and spirit. Wholly, completely. Indeed they are, Rohan, grossly untrained. You know what I'm talking about? Now that's just something to consider. And that ain't just about being no preacher, man. You have no idea what this man could use anybody for to bring esteem to his name. You know what I'm talking about? But you have to be somebody who's willing to do that. Have to be somebody who's willing to suffer. Got to be somebody who's willing to endure. Got to be somebody who's willing to forsake all. Got to be willing to be somebody who, you know what I'm saying, believe not by sight, but by the word. You have to be willing to be all of those things. Or if not, you're going to be useless. Say the one thing Christians are good at is saying, trust the Holy Spirit and let it speak to you. And I can believe that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, man, this is my personal opinion. I speak this by permission. I believe this man's spirit does minister to everybody who confessed to believe in him at one point or another. Remember, that man said he tried a heart in the reins. So that is my personal opinion. I'm not speaking this by no book, even though Jeremiah do say that. That don't necessarily mean he would minister to your spirit by his spirit per se. Because, you know, him ministering to your spirit doesn't mean you have a spirit, but it means the spirit is in proximity to you. I can tell you that. You know what I'm talking about? And if the spirit of God is in proximity to you to minister unto you, that means that there's a likelihood that if you are faithful in obedience, that you could receive it. Because why would he let his spirit minister unto you if he didn't have a desire to give it to you when the man told you it is your Abba's good pleasure to give you the kingdom? Ain't that what he said? So if that's what he said, then you better sit still and be quiet. And let the voice of God ring in your ear, man, and order your steps. He'll lead you in the perfect way. But you have to be one who's willing and desirous to do that. That's why he told you, don't sow that seed amongst them thorns, man, and get caught up with the cares and affairs of this life and the deceitfulness of riches, and they choke off that faithfulness, man. That fruit that come from that seed, man. That's why he told you that you better be careful. That man said, don't sow amongst the thorns now. You know what I'm saying? He warned you about that. He warned you about you in Jeremiah and Hosea before the Lord ever said it. So you have to pay attention to that, because that's where the betrothing and righteousness come from, is faithfulness and believing in his word. And always remember this here, man, that man's spirit ain't never going to minister to you for you to do anything contrary to the word. That man's spirit will warn you. That man's spirit will tell you to get out of situations and circumstances before it be detrimental to you. That's part of in every temptation he give and escape. Amen, Rohan. To a more gather, he present. You know what I'm talking about? And he gonna minister. Because again, what are we going back to? He said, I will speak comfortably to you. He said, I'm gonna speak to your heart. And he gonna draw you with loving kindness. So when he's speaking to your heart, remember, if he's speaking to your heart, that's another proof text, if we would, that it's highly likely that he ministered to everybody's spirit. If he gonna speak to your heart, to allure you, to persuade you. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to consider that, man. Because his spirit ain't never going to lead you to do nothing contrary to the word, but it might lead you to do something contrary to your personal desires. And are you willing to forsake all that you have? Because remember what he said, if you ain't willing to forsake all that you have, you can't be his disciple. He can't teach you. Say Book of Acts, they knew no law and they were unbaptized in the spirit. Absolutely. When they preached that gospel to them, they heard it and believed it. You know what I'm talking about? Then people heard it and said, oh yeah, that's it. And they believed it inwardly and they got it. And they got it. Like, it's really that simple, man. It ain't that complex. It ain't that complex. That's why you see people like, oh, I was born with a spirit. If you were born with it, you should have been in the right doctrine your entire life. You would have never been in no bad teachings ever. At all. Because the word already in you. So there's no way that that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You can't be born with a spirit and be a Buddhist. You're not going to be born with a spirit and be a Seventh-day Adventist. You ain't going to be born with a spirit and you Old Testament only. No, they ain't have none of that word. They ain't have none of that word. But hallelujah for y'all who shout the word, man. We're going to start right here, man. For now, man, I appreciate y'all time. Bless out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yahuwah will, man, we'll be back at it on tomorrow. Make it do what it do. So, just weigh and consider, man. We ain't got to rush through this. It's a lot. It's the heavy matter. That's what the Lord said, ain't it? So we're going to examine them. We ain't did that in a while. We did a Matthew 23, but that was probably about 2015, 16. Amen, man. Shalom, bro. Hold it down, man. You know what I'm talking about? So it's always good time to bring it back around the corner, so to speak, and add it with something else. But I appreciate y'all, and I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all, and Yahuwah willing. Till the next time.